Hello everyone. How you guys doing? It's a nice Sunday morning. Me and Katla are here just kind of chilling. It's quite lovely. I realized something during the last stream. Well, after the last stream. Hey Nick. So I had this thing. I made a poll on the Discord about if we wanted to do the dwarven quests together, and you guys decided we should do the 10-week dwarven quest, and then last week I completely forgot. So I'm sorry about that. We are about a week behind now, but I am at the dwarven village. That's where the lovely music is coming from. Didn't realize they had such like soft music during the night there. So we're gonna start the stream doing the dwarven quest, like this week's, and then we're gonna go back to Tavenir, try to figure out what's happening with the elephants. My streams, because now teaching has started, they're not gonna be as long. I'm aiming for like 3 to 4 hours of streams on Sundays, because after that I also have to prepare for my work on Mondays, and I do not want to go tired into the work week. Yes, we're gonna be morning dwarving. Katla here is like, she's very tired. She had um, wet food a few minutes ago, so now she's like all cuddly and just wants to take a nap. I did turn the camera so you can see her a bit better. It also means you can see my screen, so that's kind of fun. You should be able to see her better. But this now you can see how close she actually is to me. She is just right next to my hand, basically. Her room is room is the Icelandic word for bed. Her bed is slightly covering my keyboard. Not enough to like cause a bother, but I do have to tidy up some hairs from time to time because somebody sheds like it's nobody's business. She's old. I'm sorry. She gave me the look of like, are you talking shit about me again? I thought we'd spoke about this. But yeah, she's a sweetie. So it's just been a really calm morning over here in Iceland. We had what's called a menninganótt, which is like culture night yesterday. I didn't go because I'm not much into drinking or partying. I'm kind of a boring person. But we had fireworks late last night, and she was not thrilled. It was so loud because they were really close to where we are, and we had people just partying through the night. And because we live basically downtown, we have a lot of people kind of going past our house, especially because we live close to the university, and there's a lot of students living around here who also happen to go to the party downtown. So a lot of them end up walking past our house. And for some reason, the guy who made our buildings, we live in these kind of a project building. They were made in the like 1950s or something, because working class people needed homes they could buy, like affordable housing. So they made these bunch of houses, bunch of apartments. I think there's like 100 plus of them. And they're all the same, but they're all very nice. It's very comfy. It fits well for me and hubby and the cat. But for some reason, between our row of houses, which is like here, my row of houses is here, and this is the back of our house. So my bedroom is like right here, kind of on a corner. And then we have over here another row of these houses, and there's a road between. There's something happened with the sound quality between these rows of houses that is just insane. I hear everything that happens outside. Yeah, you've been a couple of blocks away from fireworks. It's so loud. And because everything echoes, like it's like these houses, how they've been built, and then things have been built around them. somehow managed to amplify every sound. And it's so weird because we used to live two streets away, like a little bit closer to my workplace, and I can just walk to work in like 6-7 minutes. You could never hear anything there. It was so quiet. And then you come over here, and this is just the loudest place on the planet. And I don't know what happened. It's like, how did we end up with so much audio pollution? Just like 2 streets away. But I mean, still, it's a nice place. It's not too expensive. I mean, all housing is super expensive in Iceland. But it's not too expensive. And it's close to my work, so I can walk. And it's very lovely in the summer. So it's nice, but loud, very loud. So Miss Katla here is not thrilled. She was not very happy last night when the end of the the end of the world started outside with the booms, because it was very loud fireworks. They usually aren't this loud. And then there was just people constantly walking outside of the house, and she hates people, especially outside her house. So she couldn't fall asleep, and I couldn't fall asleep, and because I couldn't fall asleep, she couldn't get comfy, and it was just a whole mess. So we have a very tired and cranky cat today. But she's been given wet food, so hopefully she's gonna be fine. Like, she's gonna be fine, but hopefully she's gonna, feel better soon. But she might sleep most of the stream, so just heads up. You might see her do her little, head hugging. She has this thing where she puts her hands like this over her head and then curls up really tight, and it's so cute. It's like she's stretching, but like reverse stretching. Instead of stretching out, she's like stretching in. It's super cute. Now, I hope you guys are having lovely Sundays. I did change the background, which is nice. I think the blue fits better. I'm like tidying up my interface and making things nicer. Doing my best. So, let's start with the dwarf so we can get back to the elephants. Because that is my life now. Maybe I should be really smart and put the game on screen. Because Streamlabs still thinks we're playing Mortuary Assistant, which we are not. There we go. By the way, we got a new friend. This is Mittens. This little panda who's on my head. Mittens is gonna be our new companion to join us on all our adventures, because this is a head panda and I love that. So cute. I got him from a friend. I was talking about him in our FC chat. He saw it, and while I was googling how to get a cute little panda like that, he just sends me a message going like, "Oh, can you meet me there? I got the delivery." And there he shows up with the panda. It was so sweet. I feel very lucky to know people like that. He's a person I got to know through streaming, and it's lovely. Now, I hope my voice is warmed up properly. I am trying to practice speaking more evenly, because I tend to be a loud person and I need to calm my voice down before I start teaching, because if I'm loud, the students get louder and it doesn't work. But now, playing a dwarf, which I don't remember which voice he had, but we'll give it something. You wish more minions did stuff like that on other races, Shinru? Yeah, me too. It's one of the few ones I like. Like, the minion I most wanted because it was super cute. That's these mounts. By the way, the same people have been helping me farm some pretty mounts. So, the one I wanted was this one here. This is this koala. Because I was gonna have have a koala as my main. But I always feel like he doesn't... I'm so afraid he falls off, Because he's not holding on to anything. The koala is super cute on the other races, because he sits kind of on the shoulder, and then he holds on to your face, hair, ear kind of area. But Onalala is just kind of, I don't know, doing a really weird balancing act. I keep on going into my mount guides. So instead, I got my friend here who is named Mittens. Because that is my second default pet name. If it's not named Katla, it's generally named Mittens. And if anybody is closing doors behind me, it's an Henry. It's... I don't know why. Alright. Did my sound break out? Okay. It's just a koala-shaped hat? Yeah, but I'm so scared when I'm running, he will just fall off one day. Or it makes it look like I impaled him on my head somehow. Now, all that grinds is not gloom. The doomsaying dwarf wishes to send you to gather machine parts, and definitely not to your doom. Ready for another foray, are you? Well, if it wouldn't be too much of a bother. Excellent. Let our inexorable march towards failure continue. You're so positive. So, do you recall the machine you brought back last time? Unfortunately, they were rather far gone, and I couldn't salvage much of them. Do you think you could bring back more of the same? Consider it done. I love the music here. Thank you. With the bits from the extra specimen, I think we can put together something useful, even if we're inevitably doomed to fail. I would love to have this... Oh, I need to get that mount. I'm working on the little hanging mount. Hold on, let me hang up on my mother. Because she has forgotten I stream right now. I'm just gonna send her a message telling her like I'm a little bit busy. And also make sure nothing is wrong, because if my mom calls, then I want to be safe. Okay, confirming that everything is okay. Gonna wait for her to answer, and then I'm gonna mute my phone. I need to go through my mounts eventually and pick like who are my favorites. But I did get some of the collectible bird mounts. I don't have all of them yet. Some of the bosses were being a little bit stingy. Thorden. Okay, everything is good, she says. Sorry about the loud Facebook being there. Thorden was very, very stingy. It was so difficult because I wanted the bird with the light purple wings. And it took us almost 3 days of farming Thorden for him to drop the mount. All the other ones weren't that difficult. Okay. We were looking for, yes, salvage copies. Down we go. But I'm currently saving up my audio keeps sometimes jumping out. I don't know what's happening with audio situation right now. The bird mounts are still some of your favorites in the game, even now. They are so pretty. I got... Let me see. In my favorite, I got the Varing one because he kind of reminds me of magic. Hold on. My headphones are being difficult. Everything is being difficult right now. The form of blue on their wings, that is kind of what I associate with magic. Then I have the white one, because the white one is just really pretty. And then I have this one, the round lanner, which is my favorite, because I quite like soft violet colors. I like soft pinks and purples and blues. So it's quite nice. But I want this mount. I'm saving for it. It's just taking me a bit. Let me see. I need to get up to 300,000. I got like 187, so it's a work in progress. Hold on. Give me a second. Okay. I'm hoping this fixes it. I do change the USB my mic is connected to. Put me back on the screen. They're actually releasing a new color variant of the bird mount in 6.2 from the Unreal trials. It looks like it has a sort of a greenish blue sparkle effect. That could be quite pretty. Alright, let's gather this up. I wouldn't mind that. Greenish, like greenish blue can be really pretty. We got this. Now let's go out again and give it to the dwarf. I have, as of late, been watching a preacher play Final Fantasy. So, where I've gone in his videos, I'm obviously watching the videos on demand. He just entered Heavensward. But the funniest thing is, he gives the characters the worst voices. But my absolute favorite is Tataru, because for some reason he decided to voice Tataru like a 90-year-old smoker that smokes at least 12 packs a day. With the coughing and everything. It's so good. It's so funny. And now every time I look at Tataru, all I can hear is just really bad cigarette voice in my head. I recommend trying to find it just to see the Tataru voice. You don't have to watch him, but try to Google Preacher Tataru voice or something. It has to be clips of it somewhere, because it's so funny. Ah, yes, precisely. The same as the last time. Ought to suffice for our purposes. Thank you. You know, I've been feeling a little bit more optimistic in spite of myself. By keeping occupied with our work, I find my mind doesn't stray to the doom and gloom as often as it used to. Seems it's better to take action than being idle with negative thoughts. If only it weren't so hard to take action in the first place. The audio is still cutting out. I do apologize if my voice cuts out at some point. Well, I should be getting back to my work. Perhaps you could report to the chief, in case he has the other task that want doing. Thanks again for bringing the parts. You should see what he does with these dwarves. Oh god, I can't wait. Hello, A, by the way. I don't even get close to his voice acting skills. Lolly, just the sinner I've been looking for, ho. I love this guy. Another one of those recording devices has arrived from Connacht. Seems the lad has more he wants to say to you, eh? Here. When you have a moment, be sure to see what's on it. I mean, what he did to Gaius was also hilarious because, he spoke with his hand in front of his mouth. You there? Yes, the two of you. What are you doing? Talking and nodding suspiciously. What are you up to? Nothing. You're conspiring to take over the village, aren't you? Just like those murderous machines. Okay, calm down. Huh, what am I? What did I just... my head. What? Something's not right with Glag. And it's not quite the same sort of not right. What follows a few too many casks of ale. Well, whatever it is nothing you need worry about. I'll take care of it. Now then, what was there something else you needed? No. How's the rebuilding coming along? Oh, well... Excuse me. You! What do you want? If you're here to mock us, have done with it and leave us be. No, I'm not here to mock you. On the contrary, I want to join you. I'm usually not one to get involved, preferring to observe from a safe distance. Oh, dear. Well, Mel, happy on the streak. Thank you for the subscription. While making the occasional comment to remind people of my presence. But seeing how hard you've been working for the village, I couldn't help but want to make myself useful for a change. Well, could certainly use all the help we can get. What do you say, Melicity? Shall we welcome him to the crew? I would happily do so. Though, our crew is really dysfunctional. Oh, thank you. I'm certain he won't regret it. We have a depressed dwarf and a paranoid dwarf. Best crew ever. After the strangeness with Glag, I wasn't sure what to expect from our dour friend. But it sure wasn't an offer to help. Anyway, I'll find a moment to talk with the fellows about our plans, and when he manages to settle in, you ought to have a word with him too. But to answer your earlier question, there's nothing we need you for right now. Only a matter of time before we call upon you again, though, so kick your feet up while you can. Nice. You not share with the dwarves what a functional crew would look like? True. And I agree, Abe. One of the best things about watching Preach is he went from being very judgmental about the game to loving it. At least what I've seen. Oh, they lifted up the tables. They're slightly starting to tidy up. Now we should have logs. Where was that? Collections, I think. Portable archive. There. Connacht's message. Dear Melicity, I forgot to mention, I brought a pod with me. It assures me that the spheres came from a different world, and their purpose is to invade others by duplicating the machine lifeform. It's weird to think that someone, ours, is the other world. Connacht. Well then, we've sorted out the dwarves for the week. So next is going here. He watched his recap video on the latest live letter and he's smitten with the game. Yeah, he's very positive about it. Honestly, everyone I've seen from the WoW community just absolutely fell in love. It's really hard not to be excited about everything they do and all the stories that are happening. I mean, I'm playing through A Realm Reborn again for one of my series, and I'm gonna have like a little video about like what could be better, but it's so hard to find any flaws. And the further you go into the story, you just see how much the developers care about it, how much they care about the lore, how they want stories to pay off. And currently I'm really frustrated over the WoW story because even though I'm not playing WoW, I still kind of follow what they're up to, and they are just about to take one of the moments that felt really huge to me and invalidate it pretty much, and that is really annoying. I haven't even done it yet, it's just been data mine. Also, I hate data mining. It's such a pain. I'm so glad FF does not have it. So we all get to just experience the story together. Yeah, A Realm Reborn is better when you know what's going on. My main issues are there are some quests that really could just be trimmed out because they like don't do anything. Could be shortened, like the quest where you're finding crystals to fight Garuda. You could have like one time where it's the wrong crystal and then you get the right crystal, but I think it's like 2 or 3 times that you get the wrong crystal, like, which is a bit too much. But otherwise, it's very well made. And I feel like they're always... Oh, ether current. That they're always making things nicer and nicer. And it's just... I don't know, it's just... It feels, when you're playing this game, everything that happens... It's... You kind of have to work for it, or the story has to work for it. Everything has a build-up, and it's like, it's heavy. I think the issue WoW is dealing with right now is that they have the ideas for good stories and then they immediately like rush it. They're too eager. They need to slow down. The first time you hear answers in A Realm Reborn, you will cry. There's nothing you can do about it. Yeah. I have a feeling Endwalker is gonna break me. But I think it's gonna be so good. Sanua has a sack of giant skull for you. Oh yeah, we were gathering up things. Yeah, exactly, Mel. Shadowland was an amazing concept, but they just couldn't deliver a proper sense of storytelling with it. Exactly, it's such a cool idea, and they have so many amazing stories. But they're always in such a rush to tell it. It's like playing Pathfinder or D&D with a dungeon master who is really trying to rush the player characters to get to the big moments and doesn't take the time to build up the world and build up the small things, which makes the bigger moments more impactful. And that's kind of frustrating because they have everything needed for a great story. They just need to pad it out a little bit more, help develop the characters more, give us a better insight into their thought process and like who they are, because they have great characters, they have great stories. They just tell them in a terrible way. Shinru says, people tend to overemphasize the issue A Realm Reborn does have, because I want people to stick around till it gets better. Yeah, that's true, but I agree with you, they have... There are occasional things this could be better, but usually not. You can just get this extra information and character development if you read the books. Why put it in the game? Oh god, I hate the books. I hate the books so much. They ruin everything. Now, we have to be careful or I'm gonna go off on a rant, and that is not good. Because if I go off on a rant, I'm just gonna sit here complaining about WoW issues. because I love that game. I really do. I love that lore. I wish it was better. Now, tipping the... Sorry, I know we're having, like, I'm having audio issues. I hear when my mic cuts out, which is why I'm stopping randomly. That look of wow, pure wow PTSD. Yeah, I know. Here you are, sacks of purest giant gold. We always set some aside for our alchemist friends. Thank you. When you deliver it, let the good folk of the Great Works know that we're grateful for their effort. If they need more, they need but ask. And now I need to go back? Yes, but I can do it like so. This place is so pretty. And I'm stupid mic. I'm so glad it's bright and nice. Sorry, I don't know what's causing my headphones to cut out. They weren't doing it yesterday, but they did it the day before. I don't know if I need to like restart the computer or something, but I don't wanna. I'll just try to not move. You should stop moving as well, so it feels very Alexandrified. Stop moving. I have no idea what you're talking about, Abe. I'm sorry. Ah, welcome back, Melicity. Dear, I hope you have the giant skull. I do. Whatever giant skull is, it sounds disgusting, but I have it. Oh, my such fine specimen. Thank you so much for bringing these. Oh, I should move. Oh, I should stop moving as well. Yeah, because Alexander freezes you. We now have everything we need to make our next prototype. On that should be capable of passing our most rigorous tests. When it's ready, it will be time for the true test, so please take your ease while you can. I'm glad we started with Avnir. It's such a lovely place. Gosh, it's pretty today. We had nothing but clouds last stream, but this is beautiful. And I feel properly dressed for the area. This looks like a really warm place.
I see our taskmasters have allowed you a moment's respite as well.
It does happen from time to time. Oh, all of you.
You have to hand it to these alchemists. They are determined to see this endeavor of theirs succeed.
True.
I've never been one for blind optimism, but I sincerely get the sense they're close to a breakthrough.
They had better be, or all this effort was for naught.
You okay, Justinian? They've
The peoples of
stabbed
Eorzea,
you quite a bit.
of the Far East, of Thavner, children of this star united in common cause against a dire threat. Yet ere they succumbed to suicidal madness, were not the Telophoroi born of her body as were we? They who cling to life and the promise of the morrow's dawn, against they who desire death and an ending of their own orchestration. The victors of this war alone will hold the right to answer the question of existence, of its meaning, and its worth.
Poetic and ominous to a fault. That said, if it's an existential debate in nature, then our arguments might not be as persuasive as you'd think. Fandaniel wants to die and take everyone with him in an orgy of pain and suffering. An utterly vile and unforgivable idea.
I don't have any fish there.
And yet, when spat upon by fate and wailing in the deepest
Oh,
pit
I
of
actually do. I don't
despair,
want you to eat
who
that
among
fish.
us
There's
can
a bone
say
in
they have
it.
not entertained similar thoughts? There are nights black as pitch, bereft of hope, and no words of comfort can reach you. And it's all you can do to grit your teeth and choke back the bile.
Are we going with the idea that
The more you
and
see
Daniel
and
is
suffer life's
depressed?
injustices, the more difficult they become to bear. Vengeance is nurtured in similar soil. Though your anger has a broader focus, the sentiment is much the same. A fervent desire to destroy others, to see them drown in torment, as you have.
That about sums it up. The will to endure is not always as strong as the urge to burn it all down and salt the earth. Survival be damned. It's a struggle, often close and brutal.
Indeed. Well, I, for one, shall pray survival proveth more appealing in the end.
As will I. Besides, our chances are much improved when we've the company of others committed to the cause of life. Our vengeful dragoon here is proof of that.
Oh. I'm glad that they actually realize if I start running off to somewhere, they should
What is it?
follow.
What did you see?
And Daniel was here.
Daniel, are you sure? If he knows we've been working on a countermeasure.
It holds. The vessel holds. This is the one.
What are you doing?
At long last!
Don't lick the mic.
Look! We have finally created a talisman
I love
strong
her
enough
voice.
to withstand our experiments. We've named it a warding scale for the time being. With this in your possession, your soul should be completely shielded from corruptive ether.
That's so pretty.
Afforded such protection, any one of us may approach the towers without fear. Thou hast mine admiration. 'Tis an invention of historical significance.
I thank you for your kind words. But I would prefer you keep them unsaid until we test the talisman's efficacy in the field.
Oh, who is gonna get ether sickness?
It is for the next stage of our plan that we summoned you in the first place. To accompany me to the Tower of Zot.
Oh, she's
Should the
gonna.
scale prove effective, as I very much hope it will, then you'll have little to do. But should the effect be weaker than anticipated, I must ask that you restrain me, or knock me senseless.
Shouldn't we test it with the puking machine first? Let's hope it doesn't come to that. You're very big. I am
No
very
way.
small.
We are fortunate to have you with us.
Yeah, you can squish
Nana,
me in your hand.
Are you certain you wish to do this?
If others are to trust our creations, then we must have faith in them first. And as the senior researcher, it falls to me to lead by example. But should I fail to return, then learn what you can from this attempt and apply it to the next. Our work must continue. Is that clear?
We'll keep an eye on the place while you're away. Assuming Daniel is lurking about, there's no telling what mischief he has in mind for us, or you. Be on
Yeah.
your guard.
Can I get a tranquilizer gun? I own a gun. I know how to use it. I'm a machinist.
Shall we be on our way?
I also have a gun
The
blade.
soldiers at the hatchery prepare us a boat, and we can set out from the northern shore. I'll see you there.
I just think it would be probably handier if I could just shoot her with a go sleep. I do have a go sleep spell, but I'm not sure it's gonna work on something that big. She might be counted as a boss. Then. Hey, Thinkred. Nothing unusual so far. Don't worry about us. Think only of your own task. Where is... Oh, it's all the way down there. Let's take the beach side this time. No, right by the ocean. It's such a pretty place. I like how diverse the areas are that they make. Like it looks like they really have fun with it. That's a walrus with legs. Uh-huh, okay. Let's just not go near that. Ooh. Big things. 22. No, I should be able to follow the beach further. It has a door. We can see the door over there in the purple stuff. Cast non-stop holy to blind her first. I would have to downgrade my holy though to get like the proper flashbang. The flower isn't quite as blinding. I will have to ask her to join me in a dungeon. Be like, please, can we do like, I don't know, Autumn Veil or something? Radiant Soldier. The satrap has granted you the use of the boat. May it serve you well. Alright. This is a rather fine boat than I had expected, but I won't complain. All that remains is to board it and be on our way. Oh, and if I should become corrupted, do not stay your hand. Of course, I pray it does not come to that, but you must protect yourself. Other alchemists can fulfill my role, but you and your blessing are one of a kind, and perhaps our only hope for toppling this tower. For all our sakes, do not hesitate to do what must be done, whatever that may be. Well, the longer I draw this out, the more nervous I become. Let's be off. I think I read the walrus name. It was like Waller or something. It was like similar to walrus, but not quite. That's a pretty boat. This static is not used enough in games.
We should soon cross the threshold of the tower's influence.
Okay. Hold it close.
Any moment now.
Is it supposed to glow like that?
It's working! And you are still yourself? Then I'd like to see how it fares closer to the tower if we could.
Fine. Oh, we're just gonna walk all the way up to it? You seem fine. Please be okay.
So far, so good. The scale's protection appears to be holding. If we can just make it to the tower's entrance.
I don't want her to get hurt. She's so adorable.
A few more steps. Praise be to the sisters, we made it! And the scale has proven itself to be everything we hoped it would be. Now we can focus on production. Once we've equipped and returned with an entire survey team, this menace will soon give up its secrets.
Yeah, do we want to peek inside? The door is open. Actually, that would be a bad idea. Oh no! Oh, because it captures... He's trying to capture the elephant people for the thing. That's not good. So they don't need to be taken inside the tower to be captured? Oh, this looks creepy. That's bigger than I thought. And very spiky. Oh. Oh, look at them. Ha ha ha, this is not good.
Let me go! Let me go!
Oh, do calm down. You'll only hurt yourself thrashing about like that.
Oh, I hate you.
Stop! Oh, you can't do this! Please!
Oh no!
A little late for heroics, I'm afraid. The similarities are striking.
To what?
My! Such hostility! Never before has my artistry so displeased. My patrons of old would have positively squealed in delight, though, between you and me, I find gushing praise exhausting.
Patrons of old? You talking about La Habrea?
Allow me to tell you a story. Surely you've yet to hear the one about Van Daniel, the sundered Ascian. I inherited the position and the soul of the Van Daniel who sat on the convocation in the time of the final days, theoretically speaking. Practically speaking, that fact is of no consequence. I was born and lived as, well, me. Eventually, I was recruited into the Ascians and imbued with the former Van Daniel's knowledge and memories, but I never felt that they were truly a part of who I am.
Maybe you were the wrong soul.
How to explain? Perhaps if I told you who I was before my Ascian embrace, although that chapter too is a past I've long since discarded. I have it on good authority you've poked your nose into an Allegan ruin or two. Yes?
Yes.
Then I expect you've heard of me. The old me.
Oh, this is gonna be way comfier.
At your service.
Emma. Brain trying to remember. Amon.
Imagine a nation of unbridled prosperity. Every need met, day after day of unbroken, unshakable peace.
Was Amon the guy who
Existence
like
fulfilled
got the Emperor back?
and ripe.
The guy right before Sandy in the Crystal Tower, right? Oh, that's for another name.
You are a genius without peer, Amon. However do you conceive of such delightful experiments? That fool was beside himself with panic when he awoke with the head of a bull. Even his cries
Oh,
for help
it's the crazy
emerged
scientist.
So much guttural lowing. your sides. My friends and I were so consumed by laughter, we struggled to breathe.
No more than entertainment for bored wastrels ignorant of its worth. My all-consuming work. But it was not their only indulgence.
So, they stuck a cow's head on a
But they were
guy
ever hungry for stimulation.
and thought it was funny
Slaves
that he was
to
upset.
The slightest hint that amusement was afoot.
Fucking hell, the
Our
elegance got
nation
fucked
was
up.
ailing, but I would see the poison purged. I resurrected a legend.
Yeah, he is the guy who resurrected the
The
Emperor.
greatest emperor.
That's what I thought.
And just as I had planned, he set our wayward empire back on the path of conquest. An inexhaustible ambition carried us onwards, always onwards. Yet, he who delivered to us such glory was not to be satisfied.
Heed me, Armon. No matter how vast one's empire, or full one's treasure vault, all is rendered meaningless by death. In the end, all is lost.
You know as well as I that the Emperor stands to lose this war. And so I have come to claim you.
Emmett.
For while your methods leave something to be desired, we cannot deny the results of your work. And as fortune would have it, the seat of Fandaniel, your rightful seat, lies vacant and waiting. Take your place amongst your peers, rather than die a pointless death amidst the ashes of your doomed nation.
Emmett has such a nice mask.
Send one of your clones to the Crystal Tower that you might see for yourself. See what lies ahead.
The fall of the Empire affirmed the truth. Majestic and tragic, as the Emperor foresaw. Scheme as you like, build as you will, nothing endures. What is life but a brief jaunt ending in emptiness?
And he's gone. No, we can't touch her because...
So easily distracted. Why? I almost left without saying farewell.
You know I wasn't distracted. It's the echo. I can't control this thing.
As for your friend, you needn't worry. These pawns are far more useful to me alive as fuel for the primals. If you attempt to pull them free, they will die. So, enjoy tackling that conundrum with your comrades. We shall meet again! Not in one of these minor spires, oh no, but somewhere more suitably grandiose. Your favorite playmate is ever so eager to see.
God, he's like a parent who has no idea who their kids actually like to play with. Not trying to force their children to become best friends with the kids of the parents' friends, even though you hate them. It's just, this is bad. And he threw the protective thing somewhere. It worked though. so we can report that it worked, but things went wrong. You returned, but where is Mistress Nidana? Manusha Preserve, just when we had succeeded in making the talisman. I must report this at once. Meanwhile, please return to the great works. Right away. Back here. Report bad news. This is not good. Bankrupt. Shit went down. It wasn't good. And Daniel's definitely here. Something gone awry, hasn't it? What happened? You know, she's stuck in the tower. She will die if we touch her. It's not good. So it was Van Daniel after all. Damn the bastard. I'm sure you wanted to do more, but you were right to return here first. We must treat warily, lest we endanger Nidana and the other captives. Yes. Satrap of Ratsatan. The Satrap of Ratsatan. Tancred is wearing a grim expression. See, now is suitable that we have fog rolling in, because now things are bad. First, we must inform everyone of the situation, Nidana's colleagues included. I'll call them together for gathering, but I think it would be best if you were the one to explain. I'll do my best. So we went on ship, we went into tower, Van Daniel was there, and now she's stuck in the wall. Oh, Nidana. Can you answer me this? Though Nidana is trapped in the tower, she's still alive, yes? Yes. Then we must make warding scales, as many as we can. The prototype worked perfectly. This Nidana proved at peril to herself. So let us make more scales, that she and all those who were taken might be saved. Aye, as alchemists, this is how we will help win the fight. And that will allow researchers to get in there so we can start figuring out, things. My friend, the satrap has been made aware of the tragedy. He offers his heartfelt condolences and reiterates his pledge to provide you with all that you require. To that end, he bade me give you the Slink Pearl, that he might personally discuss the production of the warding scales with you. And for our Eorzean visitors, I bear an invitation. In her report, Mistress Nidana noted your vital contribution to the talisman's creation. This fact comes for the satrap's attention, and in recognition of your deeds, he wishes to meet you. In addition to thanking you in person, he would also discuss further avenues of collaboration. And so, if it is agreeable, will you not accompany me to Ratsatan for an audience with His Excellency? Well, of course. We should be honored, of course. Close cooperation between our lands can only be to the benefit of all. One thing I notice. Look at the scales on the boy. He is not from either of the Aura tribes, groups we know of, because his scales have a green hue. They're not white or black. Then it's settled. Please come to the gate east of the Giant Skull ground, and I will show you into the city. That is odd. Okay, we need to go all the way up there. I wish I could fly. I'm sorry, but this is the best flying mount ever. It looks like the poor man is just about to fall off the dodo. I know it's not a dodo, it's their version of a dodo, but still. That looks amazing. Alright, on we go. It's the lighting? Okay. That makes more sense. So I'm guessing he does have white scales then, and it's just the lighting is coloring them? But it's good to know that I don't have to think about the colors of the scales, that they don't actually matter. I was about to go on to like a whole tangent there. I'm gonna need this ether current. Don't attack me. Thank you. Where am I going? This way. There are more of these to the east. Well, I'm not going there right now. But yeah, look at this bird. So nice. I got other colors too. Go find my birds here. I have the white one, but I also have this one here and this one, which are both really pretty, but I just don't feel they fit my character that well. Hey! No freaking out. I just, like, stuffed one of you yesterday during my leatherworking quest. Well, not one of you, but your close cousins. By the way, they shortened the time and distance aggro lasts in Endwalker. Oh, that's nice. Nobody likes having things chasing them around for no reason. That's smart. When last I visited, the city was brimming with life. I expect the tower has dampened the mood somewhat. Be it here or in Eorzea, all share in the desire to deliver the captives. Thus, united, I pray that we may join in common cause with the satrap. I'm not good with giving them distinct voices. Of the satrap, I only know the common tidbits, that though the position is hereditary, he is not considered a sovereign, and that despite possessing considerable authority, he wields it sparingly. Given the esteem in which the local hold him, however, it's safe to assume he's good at his job. You could do far worse for an ally. All present, then let us proceed. Owing to the threat of the tower, the city is currently in state of high alert, and strict restrictions are in place for entry. Though you have been granted special permission, ask that you remain close to me at all times. Right away. I will be good. Would be kind of bad to be allowed into the city and immediately cause troubles.
A vast rock squats upon Thavnair, and to its stony surface clings the city of Rads at Han. Ye who enter here are subject to the scrutiny of gods, the gate's most watchful eye.
Yeah, that's
the orb which
interesting.
beholdeth the truth of all things.
Well, the symbol is that freaky ass eye.
Pass beneath its hot and piercing gaze, bearing down like a second midday sun. The fragrant haze, a mixture of sweet incense and acrid smoke. The cries of merchants mingled here with lively melodies accented by dancers' feet. Travelers seduced by vivid sound and colors were once swallowed up by patchwork streets.
So this is where the Thavnarian dancer outfit comes from. Did that outfit actually just come in Endwalker? Oh.
But no such scenes to savor now. To what somber present does that divine eye bear witness?
Here we are. Megaduta.
Megaduta. It's funny because we actually had some named Thavnarian clothing ever since Aral Meribor. Oh. Well, they do seem to have planned things very far ahead.
It seems a shame to bring you here directly. Under normal circumstances, it would have been my pleasure to show you the sights.
It's fine.
And it would have been our pleasure to see them. Alas, it seems our tour of the city will have to wait.
I'm afraid so. Come, we should head inside.
I have a theory. Well, I think it really works well to be a Lalafell Warrior of Light, because everyone in this game has such a slow walk in all cinematics. But the Lalafell looks like they're walking like at a decent speed. And I like to think everybody else walks this slow because the Warrior of Light is actually a
Your
Lala.
Excellency, may I present our honored visitors?
Is it a dragon? It's not a dragon, okay.
Ah, splendid. Most splendid.
It's
Allow me to
Aura.
introduce myself. I am Ahawan, satrap of Radzatan.
He has a beard.
Our
He's like a
alchemists
mustache.
tell me your assistance was invaluable in the creation of the warding scale. Such deeds ought to be recognized in person. Thus did I have young Varshan convey you here forthwith. On behalf of my people, may I express to you our sincere gratitude.
I like him. He has a nice voice. Not everything went to plan.
I assume you speak of Nidana. A regrettable incident indeed. Her colleagues insist that we honor her wishes and trust in the talisman, that it will be instrumental in saving Nidana and the others. I am eager to hear your opinion on the matter, so let us not stand on ceremony. Come, sit.
Yeah, the slow group walk. I feel it only works with a Lala.
I think not. This charade has gone on long enough. Show yourself.
It is a dragon!
Forgive me, but were you expecting musicians, perhaps?
He is the
There are no
one who's giving the
performers working in the wings at
scales!
present, but arrangements could be made if you'd prefer.
Nay, he hath the right of it. The time for artifice is past. Raise the curtain.
Oh, so he is not the dragon, but there is a dragon.
As you wish.
And Estinian obviously feels the dragon, so he's like, there is a fucking dragon in here. So you are not the
You
satrap?
travel as assistants to the students of Valdesian, but you are known to me. Even here have we heard of the scions of the Seventh Dawn.
Yep, this is where the scales are coming from. Vitra.
For years uncounted hath this isle served as mine abode.
Hello.
Vritra, of the first brood, sibling to Hraesvelga and Nidhogg.
Aye, mine elder brothers, of Midgard Sorma's spawn. I was last to hatch.
Oh, it's the baby in the group. Oh, you know, it's a big ass chrome dragon.
Well, isn't this a surprise? We were told Radzat Han had an alliance with a dragon. Not that a great worm sat in the satrap's own hall.
Is the...
A necessary subterfuge, as the true tale of our nation history illustrates most effectively. In the beginning, the rock upon which our city is built was home to Vitra, and Vitra alone. In time, the ancestors of the Matanga came to the island and established a foothold. But never did they dare disturb the worm's lair. Next to arrive with the Aura, adopting the example of their Akasodra allies, they too treated Vitra with reverence and respect.
Good thinking. Don't piss off the
For
dragon.
many years, an understanding between our forefathers and the Great Worm endured.
Like, historically, the brood of Midgardsormur actually did not want to mess with anybody.
Marauding heroes from the mainland came.
Of course it's the
threatening to
heroes.
shatter our peace and tranquility. When it seemed all would be drowned in
Same thing
blood,
happened in Mirasidia.
Vitra himself came forth and quelled the rising conflict. A peaceful accord was reached, and oaths sworn in Vitra's name. Thus began the dragon's governance of the fledgling state, which was to grow into Radz Athan.
It's always the hero. Just
But
every time.
if Ritra is still here, then your position as satrap is just...
A charade, yes. And one which my family has performed faithfully for generations.
Many envy the great worms their power. Were it known that I ruled here, then the fires of war would burn without end. I would not be the flame which consumeth my people. Those few who join me in laying our country's foundations were, perforce, sworn to secrecy.
Your eye. It was taken.
Oh.
'Tis here, buried within the semblance of flesh. The body before thee is but a simulacrum, constructed by the finest artisans of Razatan.
His horns are green, by the
With
way.
mine eye nestled within.
Like the
Doth
dragon.
serve as an inconspicuous vessel for my will.
That would explain why I felt the presence of a dragon upon our first meeting.
That's so smart.
I am woven with words fashioned to deceive such arcane senses. Though 'twas short-lived, it seemeth thy fusion with my brother hath left thee much altered. Destinian one.
So it wasn't the lighting at all. You were just bullshitting me, weren't you? Evil people. His horns are green. You can see it.
From the very first, we sensed the nature of one another. Yet did neither one of us bear his fangs. That is all I need know of thee for now.
I mean,
With
Estinian
this
is not a murder
thus
hobo.
revealed, I have for you a proposal. Not as a worm of the first brood, but as the ruler of Radz Athan. With all haste must we take in hand the finished talismans and breach this foul spire. Thence, should it lay within our power, dispel its wicked influence. Yet even with the assurance of the warding scales, the narrow confines of the tower does limit the size of our force.
It does explain why we've never seen the other kids who served
And thus denied
anywhere.
strength in numbers, thou must choose thy soldiers with care.
Just so. Yet though our radiant host is formidable, I see a surer path before me. Thou and thy comrades have contended with a multitude of primal beings. Most recently, but it's cast down false gods in Pagelthan and Cartanau, I am told.
I'm an expert on killing primals,
'Tis
yes.
upon that strength I would call. The Scions have proven themselves the most capable, and I ask that you serve as the tip of our spear.
I love that we have the Heavensward music in the
Talismans
background.
would, of course, be provided for each of thy companions. And should you agree to this undertaking, more will be provided to make use of as you see fit.
There's no denying it's a dangerous proposition, but the rewards may far outweigh the risk. Just think of what we might accomplish if we could equip all our allies with warding scales. I worry, however, that even the 4 of us may be too few for what you have in mind. Might we regroup with our friends first to discuss the matter?
'Tis no trifling task that I have laid before you. Go. Steel your hearts and hone your plans. Such time as you require shall be spent in
Oh, it's the Midgardsormr music, yeah. It's just the music I connect with dragons.
It seems a quick trip back to Sharlayan is in order.
Seems so.
Wilt thou not lend thine aid?
Come now, Estinian. He's a nice dragon.
Whether your request be made as a great worm or the ruler of Rads at Han, I see no reason to refuse, nor will I.
Estinian is just going to deal with the problem. He's a very direct person.
I am in thy debt.
Like, everybody else is like, we have to say the goodbye and everything. Estinian's like, no, I'm going back to Sharlayan. I'm going to sort out the shit so I can then come here and deal with it. No niceties from that man, just results. You need to learn to say goodbye, though, Estinian. Use your words to, like, so people know your thoughts. Thank you for, like, joining me for a bit, eh? Enjoy the vacation. And give my regards to hubby, please. If our course of action is decided, let us not tarry. That we should encounter one of the first brood in such circumstance. Yeah? That meeting took a rather unexpected turn, but we now have a clear objective ahead of us. Let us rejoin our comrades in Sharlayan and muster a suitable crew for our foray into the Tower of Sot. Oh, and if you haven't already done so, be sure to attune to the ether I hear before departing. Unless, of course, you enjoy violent nausea. Oh, no, I don't want to do that again. I will happily never do that again. Alright. Back to Sharlayan. Which is far colder than this place. I should consider changing my outfit so I'm not freezing my ass off, because last time I was running around there, it literally started snowing. Which tells me, like, it's cold. So I feel it's unnecessary. Let me see. What can we wear? We can always go with this or this. I want something that kind of fits Sharlayan. Could go with this. Wish I had a die with me. Think we might just go very classic. Yeah, I think so. Black might be a little bit too formal. Do I want formal though? It's a very fancy place, but it also looks kind of cold, but this at least has a jacket. Let's go with this for now. Fine, thank you. I wish they could tell me, like, what is the temperature-ish in the places I go to. Just so I would have a concept of what to wear. Because usually I have to just go with, like, if it's snowing, it's definitely cold. Otherwise, don't know. But I mean, everybody is quite thoroughly dressed, so... Where am I going? Wait. Oh, I was supposed to go inside the house! I know my way around. I am not lost at all. No, 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 no. Go into the annex. Here. Now it's time to do our stuff around here. Which was, I think, dealing with politics and stuff. I still don't understand how the vote could be unanimous. What could possibly convince them all to turn their back on Eorzea? That is a question. If the Forum is intent on concealing its intention, then a cursory investigation will avail us little, I suspect. We will need to dig deeper, and with the greatest of care. The process by which Forum members are elected is fair and equitable. Neither wealth nor social standing offer any advantage to a prospective candidate. But fairly elected or not, Master Matoya still found them all to be insufferable. I mean, Master Matoya finds everybody to be insufferable. Our tour of the city has been a pleasant distraction. I feel more than ready now to tackle the challenges of the day. Krile is intent on uncovering the reason behind the Forum's inexplicable behavior. An unsettling change has come over Sharlayan, but together we will divine an underlying cause for the Forum's callousness. As I mentioned before, however, questioning the councillors directly is a fruitless endeavour. They seem to have already come to a consensus as to what and how little they are willing to divulge. Which is why I began scouring Sharlayan's archive of historical records for any hint of connection to the final days. Suffice to say that progress has been slow. There are only so many dusty pages one can skim in a day. But now that I have this band of willing reinforcement, the search should proceed all the swifter. Let us reconvene outside the Numenos, shall we? Exit the annex to the right and you'll find the archives to the western edge of the woods. So we are all going to the library. Whoa! I love that with the... Oh, sorry, I forgot to finish the quest. The conflict between Nitaga and I is in the past, and though they were brothers, it has no bearing on my view of Vitra. Above all else, he is a leader of men, not an enemy. He would hardly dedicate his life to this endeavour if he bore our kind any ill will. Just as I was getting used to Balmi Thamnir, we're back in chilly Sharlayan. Take care not to catch your death, eh? We need you for the battles to come. Now then, your investigation here remains, but when that's over, we can take stock of all of the developments and discoveries. Indeed. Where is my panda? Oh, my mittens isn't with me in here. I guess minions vanish. Probably because it's instanced area? Yeah, even Thankred wants my glam to be correct. It's... I could always go with, like, a coat without a hat, but that looks too warm. It's terrible. Glamour, it's such a pain. So much fun, but I always want to glamour up for everything, but then streams would take forever. You would never get anything done because, like, probably 1/3 of the stream would just be me figuring out clothing. Hey, Krile. My directions were easy enough to follow, I hope. In any case, you stand now before the doors of the Numenon. Sierra Leone's grandest collection of books and tomes. This building is actually only an entrance, and one of many at that. The archives of Numenor extend deep beneath the surface, like the roots of a tree. The vast halls of the Great Google Library pale in comparison to Numenor's endless maze of subterranean chambers. Any citizen of Sierra Leone is free to enter and pursue its shelves. Well, most of its shelves. Only Archon are afforded access to certain restricted vaults. I've dispatched Istol and Raha to investigate those. Meanwhile, LSA and Alfredo will help me continue my search through the stacks open to the general public. Your status presents more of a problem. As non-citizen, you're only permitted to browse the first floor here at the entrance. Even so, there should be a number of books with touch upon Sierra Leone history or foreign policy. Your task will be to find and study the relevant publications. I promise you, a working knowledge of this subject will make it far easier to spot the sort of clues we're looking for. Let us be about it, shall we? I've told the others to meet us at the stone bench over there once they've found some promising tomes. Happy reading! I understand why Thancred and Estinian didn't want to go on this, but Urianger would be a great boon over here. Brightly coloured book. The title of the spine reads The Story of Sierra Leone. Yes, we're gonna go reading. Long, long ago, on an island in the Northern Sea, there lived a Rogidan man by the name of Nienkref. Nienkref was a student of astrology, and he divined that the flood of terrifying proportion would soon sweep over the land of Eorzea. So it was that he built a gigantic ship, assembled a crew, and set the sail for the Imperial realm. You can actually see the ship still. It's in Girabania. True, Urianger probably read every single book here, but then he would be so good at picking out which one is, important. The flood arrived as foretold, and to their horror, the strength of churning water drove the people toward the ocean. It was there, however, that Nienkref's crew hauled them aboard his ark. But the danger had not passed. A towering wave approached, threatening to smash the vessel to pieces. With only a moment to spare, Nienkref wove a mighty spell of teleportation and shifted the entire ship to the safety atop Abalathia's spine. Refugees from the surrounding region huddled there alongside them, but it was not long before disputes of the dwindling supply of food led to violence and bloodshed. Oh. So he is not the one who led people up to Girabania, because I know the people in Girabania were led there by a star, which I thought was from this guy. Saddened by the sight, Nienkref gathered to him his crew and his grateful passengers and abandoned the ark to those reddened peaks. They journeyed to the coast where they built a new ship, intent upon returning to the Northern Sea. They landed on the beach of the island and settled upon that very spot. The settlement prospered and grew, and in time it became the city of Sierra Leone we live in today. Nice. A red-covered book. Title on the spine reads The Roads of Old, the Colony. Many years ago, on the banks of Thaliak in the Dravanian hinterland, a Sierra Leone colony once thrived. This settlement was originally established as a mere outpost to study the etherical sea in the year 1311 of the 6th Astral Era. Scholars dispatched to Eorzea found the facilities wanting, and their demands encouraged a gradual expansion in the structures and services. As the rumor spread of growing community of academics, the area was further crowded with Eorzean students hoping to share in the renowned wisdom of the Sierra Leones. 50 years later, the Forum passed a motion to recognize what had become a flourishing town as an official Sierra Leone colony. Eorzean residents took to calling the colony itself Sierra Leone, which led to no small amount of confusion when discussion turned to the subject of the motherland. In response, some Sierra Leone inhabitants, if pressed for a name, simply refer to it as the Emporium. Following the Exodus, however, goblin and treasure hunters claimed for themselves a corner of the abandoned colony and gave it yet another name, Idleshire. The following chapter go on to introduce the most prominent feature of Idleshire. The book does not appear to contain additional information on the forum or cover the history of Cerulean motherland in greater detail. Okay. There's so many books we can read. That's so nice, you can make the book float. That looks super handy. Time for a tome. The faded title of the spine reads Stewards of Wisdom. During the chaos of the Sixth Umbral Calamity, Archon Nienkev, founder of Cerulean, bore witness to the madness and savagery of men brought to the brink of despair. Upon raising a settlement on an island in the Northern Empty, he instructed his people thus: renounce the ways of war and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason. The Cerulean took to heart the word of their savior, and thenceforth served as stewards of wisdom. Upon a foundation of accumulated learning, they built a homeland unlike any other, a nation born from strength of mind rather than strength of arms. With knowledge of economic came through trading. With the knowledge of agriculture came bountiful crops. Engineering brought wells and sewers, ending squabbles over water. Wealth of expertise could be bartered for wealth in coin, and the more the wisdom spread through the world, the more mankind as a whole would thrive. And so it was that no matter the trial and tribulation of the age, the citizens of Cerulean would live by their founders' techniques. For the sake of a better tomorrow, for the sake of a brighter star, they would eschew the tools of war and with knowledge deliver the world. Well, that's kind of what we want in a way. We need their knowledge. I hope I can read all three of these. The title on the spine reads Forever 20 Summers. My beloved seekers of knowledge, have you ever put learning before your health and neglected to feed and rest your body as you should? I too once engaged in such foolish practice, but one night, engrossed in philosophical study, I had an epiphany. For all the world's mysteries that drive us to reckless abandon, we have so very few years of life in which to achieve our goal. Thus do I share with you this mantra. I am forever 20 summers young. The number itself is unimportant. You could be 19 or 23 or 40. Whatever age you are when you discover this manual, let that be the age you aspire to remain. Through mindful, healthy living, oh my god, Bixby is about to talk to us.
I didn't understand that.
I know, you never understand anything, Bixby. It's okay. Oh, she's just... Through mindful, healthy living, will you extend the time available to spend upon your chosen research? Another day, another moon, another summer to grasp the greater truth you pursue. In the pages that follow, we will explore the secrets of maintaining one's physical condition from a biological, ethereological, and arcane viewpoint. This book is on the wrong subject. Okay, I need to deliberately pick the wrong book first. Oh, an introduction to the heavens. That definitely sounds like a wrong book, so that's good. Have you ever gazed at the skies above and contemplated the mysteries contained therein? I speak not of shifting cloud patterns, but of the vastness beyond of the sun and the twinkling tapestry of the night. Some think the dome above us to be finite space, yet amongst the leading thinkers of our age, one scholar depicts a boundless sea of stars as firmly taking root. Alas, this heavenly sea remains unreachable, unknowable destination. There are few indeed who can explain in satisfactory detail why our own star is believed to revolve around the sun. You love that this quest is basically just read all the lore. This is my favorite quest so far. Is just go to the library, read the books. It's like, yes! Can we have more of these? It was the technologist of the Allegan who came closest to understanding the laws which govern the Starry Abyss. It was they who learned Stalamute and sought to expand beyond our earthbound existence. Having read of their ancient ambition, I wonder, has your interest in this field of study waxed or waned? What if I were to tell you that the eternal constellation were arranged differently in the distant past, that their position continues to shift almost imperceptibly but measurably as we journey into the future? Would it shock you to learn that the stars drift further and further apart and may indeed do so forever? Are you eager to learn more? Yes! I want to learn more! This also, like, in our real world, this fascinates me and also kind of scares me. That everything is slowly, like, getting further and further away from one another. Like, it's spreading out to somewhere. But we don't know, like, why or how it works fully. This book is on the wrong subject. Yes. I don't care if it's on the wrong subject. It was so worth it. Alright, there's one left over here. Leatherbound Tome. The voice of a growing city. That sounds like politics, so yeah. I love the mammoths in this place with their little wigs. In the year which followed the founding of Sierleyan, civic policy and other matters of import were decided at the Ecclesia, a public forum, at which every citizen was eligible to speak. As the city population grew, however, this forum became increasingly impractical. A larger number of participants gave rise to ever longer debates, resulting in significant delays of vital resolutions. Various measures were introduced in the attempt to curtail protracted discussions, but in the year 201 of the 6th Astral Era, it was ultimately decreed that Sierleyan would transition to a new form of governance. The nation would now be led by a body of 99 members, citizens chosen from amongst their peers by means of nationwide vote. Thus was the forum as we know it today conceived and created. You've gained a fundamental understanding of Sierleyan history and the foundation of the forum. Head outside to a rendezvous point and await your companions. Okay, I would have been able to go around and read all the books. That's nice. Because I would have been so disappointed if I had found all the right books and then just been locked out. By the way, this shirt she is wearing, this thing, it looks really cute on Lalafels. I haven't found out where it's from, but it's quite adorable. Oh, it's lovely weather. Let's go see everybody. My friends. I have found books. Please tell me you found something more interesting though, because you got to go into the more closed off sections. Did not expect Graha to be one of the first one to come out. Sorry, were you waiting long? No? I just came out. I wanted to make sure I'd borrowed at least a few promising volumes. Alphino and Kryl should also be along shortly. I was delayed in similar fashion. As far as I could see, no titles in the Arkenstack mention the final days, specifically. So we have no choice but to start with the tangentially relevant tomes. If they're even that. At present, the plan is to skim through as quickly as we dare and share our discoveries as we make them. It would have been nice to invite everyone to the estate. Plenty of comfortable places to read and a ready supply of hot tea. Oh, I was always quite fond of reading outside. But it's not about the little pleasures, is it? You miss your home. It's been difficult. After our arrival, we managed to speak with one of the family servants and ask how things were. It seems our dear father has instructed the staff that even if Alphino and I were to return to Sierlein, we are not to be allowed across the threshold. Gosh, that man is such a dick. A harsh measure indeed. I hope that our effort to understand his position and that of the Forum will perhaps lead to a reconciliation. We'll mend this rift one day, I'm certain of it. Where is their mother in all of this? Just saying, is she agreeing to this whole thing? And what of you, Graha? Have you been visiting your family, or do they not live here in the city? Well, my situation is somewhat complicated. I was raised in Sierlein, yes, but I was born rather further away. In the southern reaches of Ilsbarth, in fact. For generations, my people have dwelt in Corvos, the coastal region opposite the Isle of Thavnir. Why did you not come with us to Thavnir then? Well, I know why, because I needed him for the library, but still. The Elegans founded the city in the fertile land and by ship brought in subjugated tribes of the Mikotay to serve as laborers. Of course, the massive earthquake of the fourth umbral calamity brought an end to the Empire's reign, and when the fifth calamity froze the sea solid, many of the tribes still living in Corvos braved the journey back to Eorzea. My ancestors, however, chose to remain that they might prevent the remnants of elegant technology from being misused. Isn't Corvos under Garlean rule? For the past 50 years, yes. Some semblance of local culture remains, as is the case for most imperial provinces. But Garlemald renamed the region Locus Ammonius. When I was a boy, a nearby town came under the jurisdiction of illustrious imperial family, the noble house of Darnus. Wait, isn't that Nero's family? No, he's Skeva. Darnus, we've heard Darnus before somewhere. House Darnus demonstrated a singular interest in elegant civilization, and so my tribe was forced to consider a plan of action. For some time already, voices had been raised in favor of abandoning our ancient customs. Are you watching this? My hubby is lurking, but I don't think he can hear me, so he's not listening. That's good, because he is not even close to Endwalker. The Allegheny no longer passed to our eldest children as reliably as it once had. Fear of a discovery eventually tipped the scales, and the decision was made to bury our ties to the knowledge and tradition of Alag. As the last child born with an Allegheny, I was given over to the custodian of friends in the students of Baldestian, who had me registered as a Sierlein citizen. I never even considered. Forgive me, it was an unkind question. No, it wasn't. It was a very normal question. Even Thancred was taken by Arkan Louisois, was he not? Stories of adopted waifs and rescued orphans are more common among Sierleins than you might think. Yet, regardless of our origin, we are all provided with equal opportunity to learn, and with sufficient perspicacity, we outsiders can even earn the wanted title of Arkan. It's exactly why I have such love for this country, and why I wish to remain a nation of which its citizens can be proud. Here, another good reason to get to the bottom of the Forum's stubbornness, aside from the trifling matter of our impending doom. Yeah, you know, death be coming, but we'll deal with that. Excuse us while we try to make some headway in the books. Felicity, more company should be arriving any moments now. You don't want me to read? I am a very good reader. There are others better suited for poring over old history books, so I thought I'd try my luck with more recent events. If I can find anything to better inform the forum's baffling behavior. What else do I know of Corvus? Precious little, I'm afraid. I've not returned since Master Galoo first brought me here. I can tell you that Corvosi rebels still seek to slip the yoke of the Imperial Masters, though the fighting is far less fierce than it once was. Oh, and they have carpets. Flying carpets. The legends are quite extraordinary. That's where the flying carpets come from? I've seen Abe on one. More people come out. Okay, Kyle and Alfie. We've returned with our selections, although I must say the picking were quite slim indeed. Mistress Kyle has already flicked through every history book devoted to disaster, and more than a few was barely made mention of them. As such, we will be looking into research papers on the Umbral calamities, as well as articles written by prominent forum members. Perhaps their knowledge of the final days come from an unexpected source. Speaking of which, may I ask you a few questions related to the final days? I'm the only one here who didn't witness the event at Amaret firsthand, and fear I may be overlooking critical details. Sure, ask away. My thanks. Now, where to begin? First thing first, what kind of phenomenon did the Ancient encounter as the final days drew nigh? Well, it was the creation magic got, destabilized. They were, if I remember correctly, weren't they both having things were being made out of control, but also they were struggling with making some things? So creation magic was off. Yes, the unfolding catastrophe wrought havoc on all manners alive. The chaos extended to the ancients themselves, causing their power of creation to spiral out of control. Fear and despair manifesting in terrible, tangible fashion. Meteors raining from the sky, fire erupting from the ground. Indescribable abomination prowling the streets. That more or less aligns with my understanding. If only the art of creation had survived until the present day, we might have had something substantial to analyze. To the best of our knowledge, however, those techniques were not preserved or passed on. Istola surmises that the closest known magic is that of the summoning ritual promulgated by the Asian. Yeah, the last choice is I don't remember, it was just bad. Was there aught else to note which heralded the approach of the final days? The entire star was not engulfed by disaster all at once. The sight began with a keening sound from the land itself. I mean, I remember TikTok sound. Ah yes, the Amarotians spoke of it, didn't they? We never did hear the sound ourselves, of course, thrust as we were into the midst of the madness. But it seems that each and every one of the catastrophes was preceded by this ominous noise. Eventually, it resonated all across the star, and not even Amaret was spared. Yeah, but they didn't all happen at once. So, the ground was crying out, you say? To be considered the harbinger of doom. It must have been quite distinctive, and probably quite loud. I'll have to speak to one of the Numenon mammoths and ask after any books which make mention of such a sound. Last but not least, would you describe how the ancients sought to quell this unprecedented calamity? What definite action did they take? They summoned a primal. So, they summoned Zodiac. I like that they go do you remember the lore? And Alfie is definitely there to correct you. Yes, with Elizabeth serving as his heart, so many gave themselves in sacrifice to bring him into being. We do not know exactly how Zodiac brought salvation to the star, only that by his god-like will were laws of nature set aright. Then once the balance was redressed, the ancient offered up a further sacrifice to heal the ravage of the final days. Life sprouted anew, and it was these fledgling souls they intended to render unto Zodiac, a trade that would have allowed them to resurrect the shades of loved ones absorbed by the primal. Or might have, had Venat and her followers not manifested their opposition in the form of Hydaelyn. Thank you, both of you, for the detailed review. I feel much more confident now in my understanding of events. I'm glad I kinda stood outside of that. With all that freshly in mind, it does make me wonder what Telforoi truly mean when they speak of bringing back the final days. We've seen what they're doing with those towers of theirs. Is forcing people to summon primal kind of a catalyst? Are they attempting to mirror the condition caused by unstable creation magic? Or are they simply using the final days as a figure of speech? A convenient metaphor for the scale of destruction they plan to unleash? It's all just pointless conjecture at this stage. Let's return to our attention to the forum, shall we? We should keep an eye out for Yistola, but it's time we begin studying these research papers. You are here? It really is comforting to have all these dedicated assistants on hand. Right then, enough chatting, more reading. Alfie, you're there. Many forum members are also researchers or professors. If they know aught of the final days, then that knowledge might surface in the writing. This my hope anyway. Then Yistola. Mittens is very good at staying, very level on my head. He doesn't move very much. When he has picked a position to face, he will face it. I'm the last, am I? Well, my extended search of the Arcan stack produced 1 or 2 possible useful books. But I wouldn't get your hopes up. If you recall, Uriendia learned of the source reflection from the Germ oracles. For its potential to cause panic and confusion, the tome was deemed apocryphal and sealed away in the Great Google Library. It's even less likely that knowledge of the unsundered world, not to mention the horrors of the final days, would be left sitting on a shelf for any curious scholar to find. It stands to reason that my colleagues, be they archons or counselors, should perforce be largely ignorant of the subject. Yet when you confronted Master... When you confronted Master Leveleur with the knowledge of the Telforoi and their machination, he scoffed at the suggestion that they posed a threat. He seemed adamant that the forum would know if the final days were truly upon us. Was it Forchon? Let's go with Forchon. Which only supports the conclusion that whatever privileged wisdom is guiding the forum's behavior is being kept secret from the rest of the nation. Forcheno? Not that I mean to excuse myself from reading duty, whether they contain mention of the final days or no. These books could yet hold something of value. You weren't thinking of leaving, were you? There's plenty of work for everyone. I was actually eager to get to reading. I don't know why I was on lookout duty. We should all be reading. You labor for what feels like an age as you stole a research assistant. Thank you for your help, but I think I can manage the rest without your assistance. If I were you, I would steal a few quiet moments for myself. Oh dear, you look exhausted. What about your studies? Were you able to find any books on the subject I mentioned? Yeah. Then the day was well spent. Should you wish to read them again, our Mehmet at the reference desk will point you in the right direction. For the moment, though, I suggest you take a well-deserved rest. We might be occupied with our research for quite some time. So I get new shoes? What level are these? 515. These are 530, so I'll store these for a bit. What do you say, Alisaie? Alisaie appears in desperate need of a study break. Ready for a tea break, Melicity? I know I am. Honestly, my neck and shoulder are going to calcify if I don't stretch my legs and walk around for a bit. You know the last stand down in the harbour, don't you? Come and meet me near the outside tables and I'll treat you to their coffee. It's quite good. Can I get hot chocolate instead? I don't like coffee, it's very bitter. I'm not much of a bitter drink person. I'll even take fruit juice. A soda? It's not coffee. It's just the taste of coffee. It ruins everything for me. I've actually tried several times in my life to get accustomed to drinking coffee. Even trying some of those drinks that are like, there's like a tiny bit of coffee in it and then it's mostly just sugar and syrup and whipped cream. And even those, I can't. It's just the coffee flavor is so strong. It's really funny because I work as a teacher, so I work in a profession where everybody is addicted to coffee. But for me, it's really nice because at least I don't have to worry about it. Busy as ever, I see. How very Charlene that no other gourmet cafe has sprung up to compete for customers. Actually, this crowd gives me an idea. Before we place an order, why don't we ask a few questions and gauge the mood of the city? I'm interested to hear what the average citizen has to say about the Telforoi. We might even learn something new. Worth a try, don't you think? Alisaie is now accompanying you. Alright. I don't need a tutorial on this. Let's start over here. Yes, I don't believe I've had the pleasure. Pray excuse the interruption, but we were hoping you might share your thoughts on the Telforoi and their unconscionable plans. My goodness, if it isn't the young Miss Levier. My apologies, but I work in the offices of the Forum, and if word reached Master Fortune, that I was helping you. I see. We're sorry to have bothered you. Fortuno, that's like a terrible name. What was it? Can a man not enjoy a moment of private respite? If you're looking to share a table, then I respectfully request that you look elsewhere. You misunderstand, sir. We were simply wondering if you knew of the Telforoi. These enemies of peace have promised an end to all we hold dear and... Wait. You're that House Levier girl, aren't you? And this woman with you is obviously a foreigner. Ugh, I heard you were disowned for helping outsiders indulge in their barbaric whims. And here you are giving truth to the rumor. I'll thank you to leave me be. I've naught to say to the likes of you. Well, I must apologize. It was foolish of me to expect an ounce of civility from one so enlightened. Come, Alisaie. I'm sorry, Alisaie. Worst name ever, Mr. Dickon. Mixed with worst hair ever. Welcome, madam. What can I offer you today? Wait, is that Mistress Alisaie I see there? My words, how long has it been? Far too long. Meet Dickon, the owner of the Last Stand. I used to frequent his cafe on occasion, in between lessons at the studium. No problem, Nick. Thank you for joining. That seems like an age now. I remember hearing that you and Master Alphino had sailed to Eorzea, but then you never came back. Lately there's been gossip about your father disowning the pair of you. Everything alright at home? No, shit, thanks. Bad. It's complicated, and I hadn't expected complete strangers to be so familiar with our situation quite so quickly. Everyone has an opinion, it seems. Well, it is House Levier. No matter how discreet Master No matter how discreet Master Forcino may have been, news of your family doing never stays secret for long. Things being what they are, what brings you back to the city now, of all times? Well, we have questions and only Sharlayans have the answers. Tell me, Master Dickon, have you heard anything about the apocalypse called the Final Days? What, like the end of the world? Nothing like that, I'm afraid. And that's what you're here to find? Information on this apocalypse? Yes. Whatever we can learn. Unfortunately, your patron appears to be unwilling to speak with me. I wish there was more I could do to help. Maybe there is. You're a visitor of Sharlayan, aren't you? Yes. Then few will know your face. We should be able to pass you off as a server within on the visor. We just finished preparing a few orders. Strike up some friendly conversation while you're setting down the food. You might get the answers you're looking for. Not a bad idea. I hate to ask, but what do you think? Sure. Never gonna say no to dressing up. That's the spirit. Pay attention now, and I'll explain where each of these dishes need to go. Okay. The tea set is for the chatty group sitting at the water's edge. The omelette is for one of our regulars, a Highlander by the name of Gisla, who's sitting at an outside table with a friend of hers. Behind them you should see Mikote gentleman. He ordered the oven-baked lobster. Got all that? If not sure, just ask and I'll explain again. Good luck. Okay, I think I got this. So let's start by finding Gisla. So these look chatty. So I guess this is the first place? I mean, Gisla is not around here. Gisla is there, so this is where the omelette goes and the lobster goes there. So this is the tea set. Oh, my tea set! Lovely, thank you. The tell for who? I'm sorry. I never heard of them or their final days. My friend and I are somewhat uninformed when it comes to current events. Now, if you wanted to hear about ritual arcane practice of the 6th astral era, common nor esoteric, then I'd be happy to talk your ears off. Omelette for you. Ah, finally. 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's begin. No time to waste. What? Telfroy? Ah, yes, I remember seeing the name in the latest Gazette. That is some grand claim about the end of days. Some old, senseless warmongering. When will these fools grow tired of killing each other, spilling each other's blood? Best stay out of it. The Forum made the right choice, and I fully support our decision to remain neutral. Urban invented with a smile? You got the lobster? At last, the oven-baked lobster is mine. You have no idea how long I've scrimped and saved and suffered to afford this heavenly dish. The final days? This is the first I've heard of it. Although, that would explain why my friend has been rushed off his feet. It must be a busy time to be a gleaner. What's a gleaner? Huh? You don't know what a gleaner is? They're collectors of sort. Travel the world procuring things that we haven't got here in Sharlayan. Priceless books, unusual life specimens and so forth. So, name for those folks who trail after the reapers in the field, picking up every grain which was missed. Aye, by all accounts, gleaning is a most meticulous and demanding profession. If these Telforoid make good on their audacious threat, then many uncatalogued rarities could be lost forever. Why else would the gleaners be busting about in such a frenzy? Watch the harbour and you'll see what I mean. They're carting loads in front of the dock all day. It's never been this hectic before. Not like this. They're carting loads of something? I would like to peek in those boxes. And then I'm gonna freak out if it's gonna be crystals. We have about an hour left of the stream, but we're gonna take a very quick break, so I will be right back. And I'm back. See, Katla has moved her camera potentially around a bit. I fixed it. Let's see. Any trouble with the customers? Were you able to get anyone talking? Interesting. They seemed unaware of the final days, aside from whatever vague news of the Gazette are printing. Even Dickon has nothing to offer, and he's the best source of gossip in the city. If the Forum does have a steed with knowledge, then they've done an impressive job of ensuring no one whispers in the wrong ear. In any case, thank you for playing the part so well. Here's that cup of coffee I promised. No, don't give me coffee. Hot chocolate. You should always give me sweet drinks. Sweet, yummy drinks, not coffee. Let's enjoy a drink somewhere else, shall we? Maybe behind the peristyle, away from the gossips and their wagging tongues. Can we go where we can see the gleamers? I would like to watch them. See whatever they are up to. Wait, where does it go? I mean, this is a nice enough place. Yes, this should do nicely. Out of the wind and out of sight. I feel really sorry for them.
When our father disowned us, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It wasn't until much later that his words began to sink in, that I began to feel the weight of what it meant. Do you remember when the decision was made to come to Sharlayan? Grahas said that the Forum was determined to keep us in the dark, and that Father's venomous performance was part of that strategy, to keep us at arm's length. Perhaps it was. Father argued with Grandfather on many occasions, but never with such dismissive contempt. And when he demanded what justifies the sacrifices we make in war, I honestly didn't know what to say. Neither did Alpha know, I know, but never for one moment did I believe we had made the wrong choice. So all I could do was fume silently. It was only afterwards that I realized how childish I had been, how being stubborn and self-righteous must run in the family. If I could have just mustered a civil response, then things might have turned out differently.
That is a lot of boxes. That is really a lot of boxes.
They must be ferrying goods to Labyrinthos.
The fuck is Labyrinthos?
A vast complex beneath the island.
Oh.
Sharlayan is famous for archiving knowledge from around the world. Well, that knowledge is not preserved exclusively in dusty tomes and desiccated samples.
So
our living library, comprised of all manner of flora and fauna, is housed and studied within that underground facility.
So we have a whole museum under the city. How do we get in there?
That did seem to be an unusually large shipment. When I lived here, it was rare to even see such cargo transported by boat.
Yeah, this seems like a lot.
Wait, didn't you hear something in the last stand about the gleaners coming and going more than usual?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think they're the ones we saw manning those boats. And gleaners answer to the Forum. If the appearance of the Telophoroi prompted this sudden burst of activity, then Labyrinthos may hold a clue as to what the Forum is planning.
Can we go down there? I'll swim in there if I have to. A labyrinthine descent. Alice is excited to share your revelations. We should tell the others what we learned about the cleaners. Go on ahead to Numenon and I'll join you in a moment. Master Dickon will want his cup back. Yeah. Why would you name your child that? More importantly, why would the translation team let that through? Like, that is such a... I'm stunned by that name, that name is in the game on an official NPC. It's just amazing. Okay. Back to the library, tell them that we discovered some interesting things, and that we need to get into the museum under the city. They're all reading still. Kyle, we have a thing. Welcome back, Melicity. Been for a walk and cleared your head, have you? Sort of. No, not exactly. We did some impromptu investigation and turned up information on the Gleaners. They've been coming in and out of the city a lot, with a lot of things. It makes sense. The Gleaners take their requests directly from institutions and bureaucrats, but as you say, they ultimately answer to the Forum. A sudden and significant increase in Gleaner traffic and in cargo, it certainly gives the impression of overarching plan being put into motion. Let us see what theory we can build from the facts. As Stoll observed earlier, Numenon's archive appeared to contain no information concerning the final days. Coupled with that, what Melicity and LSA learned at the last stand, we can be reasonably sure that most Sierra-Leans know nothing of that particular period of ancient history. Yet my father and his colleagues are not only familiar with the final days, but are also somewhat certain that the destruction being perpetrated by the Telfroi is wholly unlikely these apocalyptic events. Moreover, the Forum claims to be so occupied by a duty of such pressing importance that they saw fit to unanimously deny Eorzea's request for aid. And now the Gleaner's official agent of the state have been mobilized on an unprecedented scale. I don't think it's a stretch to conclude that the Gleaner's recent activities are in service of the Forum's secret ends. In which case, our next course of action seems obvious. We visit Labyrinthos and assess the situation for ourselves. And if we're lucky, the Gleaners will be far more receptive to our questions. What should we expect down there? Oh, I would hate to spoil the surprise. As for myself, there are a few more subjects I like to research. I may join you later, but feel free to leave behind your borrowed books and be on your way. I'll see to it that each is returned to its proper place. Oh, that would be great help. Thank you, Raha. Let's head down the stairs over there, and I'll show you where the entrance is. So this is actually a place the public can go to. But will I be allowed to go in there? Because I'm not Shirley. Watch your steps in Labyrinthos is rather more perilous than a simple storehouse, although that will likely make the experience all the more attractive to an adventurer like you. What kind of a place am I about to go into? Ready? Labyrinthos is not far from here, but you may find the path a bit disorienting. I'll take the lead, so stay close. Follow LSA and try not to fall behind. Off you go then. Okay? LSA. It's pleasant here amongst the trees. This is terrible. I hate these type of escort quests. But we really should move on. Oh god. This is the type of escort quest WoW always has. And I despise them. Now we run. Try to keep up. Oh, thank god. Oh. Much better. We're actually making some pace now. Keep to the path, straight ahead. We cross the bridge, okay? Up here. The Rostra. Not far now. Okay. This way? So I'm guessing the door over there? Or the gate over there? Here we are. Through this door and down the stairs. You did remember to attune to the shard back there, didn't you? It will make your life much easier if you need to come back in a hurry. Otherwise, we should keep moving. Oh, there's a shard over there. Hold on. Thank you, LSA. Reminding me about the important things in life. She is the best. Gotta love LSA. Like run, run, run. Down the stairs. They really made this place so pretty. I love the tiles and everything. It's just so many pretty details. There is a Chocobo Keep down here. I love the Chocobo Keep is like in Charlene clothing, but they have the mask. Well met, traveler. Might I interest you in a Chocobo Porter? Hello, people. Mechtit. You knew? It will take me a while to check all these, so you go on ahead. There is a lot of boxes coming in here. You didn't take the wrong turn in the rostra there, did you? I doubt the forum would take kindly to you barging into a private session. There were no other places for me to go. I've not been to the Labyrinthos in the longest time. Even as a student, my visits were few and far between. How did the forum learn of the final days, and exactly how much do they know? More to the point, what do they intend to do about it? Hopefully the answer to at least one of these questions lies below. We're all here now, yes? I've taken the liberty of securing permission for our group descent. Right, everyone onto the lift and down we go. Okay. Ooh.
Deep beneath the scholar's city shines a false sun within a fabricated sky. In any age exist those who consider the floor an extension of their bookshelves, and this vault's architects surely belonged to that special breed.
This is not the city.
If the stack grows too high,
a show.
Start a new one. If no room remains, then make more rooms. A simple solution at first, and then bit by bit, a profound transformation. Knowledge, buried beneath knowledge, a growing, creeping labyrinth from which there is no escape.
This is like a whole underground, another city?
Not what you expected. I must admit, the artifice is very convincing.
What?
but I assure you that we are beneath Sharlayan itself. The breeze you feel, the flowing waters you hear, all created by the hand
Hey,
of
Mr.
man.
Crow. I'm good. I'm just
The island
stunned
is
right
volcanic,
now.
you see, and once upon a time, this great hollow must have been a reservoir for magma. It was discovered some 400 years ago, at which point it was repurposed as a storage facility for scrolls and samples and such. Renovations have continued, with nigh on no interruption to this day, with the lower levels still undergoing expansion.
Oh.
Aren't those people gleaners?
It looks like it, yeah.
Aye, judging by their dress. They are said to work alone as a rule, but 'twould seem that rule is being enthusiastically broken today.
I mean, if you had this many boxes,
It may
wouldn't
be
you
as
want
I
help?
suspected, that they are engaged in a task apart from the norm.
Let's spread out and get some answers then.
I'm worried they won't talk to the twins. Might talk to Kyle. Oh, you're having an echo moment?
Did you call to me just now?
No?
No. How odd. I must be a bit dizzy from the descent. I'll be fine, I'm sure. Let's get to work, shall we?
Who called to you? Did it sound like my voice? Although I can't wait for daytime to come so I can see this thing up there lit up. But this is like a whole underground city. Oh, they have like wild areas and everything. It's actually mapped up here. What is this place? This is amazing. Excuse me, are you a gleaner? If you don't mind, I have some questions to ask. Let's say you got somebody talking to her. Fascinating. Could we go back to what you were saying earlier? You get help or give me more headaches? Because you don't have the look of a gleaner, and I'm not in the mood for idle chatter. One of my colleagues was exhausted. He took a tumble and crashed into a pile of crates. Now I have to pack a marmot's running loose. I'll help you. Your change with Ermil has taught you about exhausted gleaners. But what if I help him with the marmots? Would he then be willing to tell me things? Teeth? Let me think. The receipts should be item 1058, cumin seeds 1059, snurpleberry 1060, or were they 1061? My head feels like it's stuffed with moko grass. Why more loads to take out than carry in? Wait, are you taking things out? Why do all this at once and risk mixing it up? What if someone mistakes the Coerthan carrot for the Girabanian carrot? What then? So there are large shipments coming in and out. That's interesting. I understand why they're going in, but why out? Most of these gathered here appear to be gleaners. Why don't you wander around and try making small talk? Well, that's what I'm trying to do. Hello, Dobbin. You want to know what I'm doing? Hauling books, and ore, and fauna. If it needs hauling, I haul it. Every decade or so, they take stock in labyrinthos, you know? Sort of tidy up the inventory. Never seen an operation like this before, though. They just did one a few summers ago, even. Then, with no warning at all, this mess gets dropped in our lap. Orders from high up. Damned if I know the reason. Could be that they're changing the layout, eh? Preparing for the next big expansion. So they're taking stock. So we have large shipments coming in and out. They're taking stocks, and all the gleamers are exhausted. Any luck, Melicity? What tales did the gleaners have to tell? So, this grand operation began without a warning, and for every item they bring in, they're sending more inventory somewhere else. That would explain the haggard faces I've been seeing. We were right, the Forum is definitely up to something, and they're turning Labyrinthos upside down in the process. Oh, by the way, when I see this little minion of Graha, we are gonna get an Emmett Cells minion during the birthday event. And I hope it has, like, because everybody has an Exarch minion, I really hope the Exarch minion and Emmett have an interaction. Because that moment when Emmett kind of pointed the gun at the Exarch, that was such a defining, changing moment. That would be such a cool interaction. It also kind of looks like the Emmett minion has like the snap thing he does. That would be cool. But I would love to see those minions interact. I would just love to see Emmett minion interact with any of the Cyan minions in general. Kyle appears lost in thought. We would do well to learn more of what specifically the Gleaners are being tasked to do, as well as who has tasked them to do it. If you're game, Melicity, I have an idea. Did one of the Gleaners you questioned say something about escaped marmots? Perhaps if you were to help him capture said creatures, he might be inclined towards a more friendly and enlightening conversation. That's what I was thinking earlier. In the meantime, I will turn my charm upon this Gleaner here. We can compare notes afterwards. Happy hunting! Yeah, I really hope they make interactions between the Science and the new one, because it's such a cool idea. It would be so much fun. Erwile, would you like me to catch your things for you? You wish to help me find the marmot. I've nothing suitable to pay you for your services, but if you're offering out of the goodness of your heart, I welcome the assistance. Goodness of heart, definitely. Maybe some info? The name is Erenville, friend, specialist in the collection of live specimens. They said the capture of the Naxki marmot is a trial. I have no desire to repeat. Grizzled mice, they call them. For a mercy, there are no other marmot species on this tier at present, so there should be no mistaking our little fugitives. If you happen to catch any, stuff them in the sack. Gently, of course. Right away. Where to begin, you wonder? Why, I've not seen any scampering around here, so, well, we need to widen our search into the surrounding forest. Be on your guards, there are beasts out there that won't hesitate to prey on a marmot, or you. I'll search the trees to the west. The eastern part of the forest is all yours. Good luck. Lovely. Oh, they have like gobboos. A hairy gobbo. Oh, it's a troll. It looks like a hairy gobbo. But I guess trolls are just hairy gobboos. They kind of look like just gobboos with dog faces. That's adorable. Marmot. What does a marmot look like? What the hell is a marmot anyway? Hold on, I'm googling. Marmot. Oh, it's that animal. It's the... Yeah, they're like fluffy and weird, and then they stand up on their hind legs. They, I think, bite trees? They got teeth that look like they bite trees. We don't have these in Iceland. I wish we did. Hello, grizzled mouse. You don't look anything like the picture I saw. Oh, are gobboos actually shaved trolls? That is a good question. Maybe there's just something that happens when they come out of the safe area. It causes them to lose all their hair. Oh no. This grizzled mouse doesn't look anything like the marmot I googled. Not one bit. Can I please put you in a sack? No. Barely have you readied the sack when the grizzled mouse scampers off into the underbrush. Evil, possessed little creature. I don't know what this grizzled mouse is supposed to look like, but it does not look like a marmot at all. Little Heidi thing? Where did you go? There you are. Please let me pick you up. Also, where's Katla? Please help me. Uh-oh. Yeah, this is an interesting reuse of skeleton. Oh, they look kind of cute. Come on, get in the sack. And you... Oh, you absolutely satanic creature. Where did you go? Oh, these are the lanterns. I was wondering, like, what the hell is this blue glowing thing? Ah, you go up there? Oh, evil little thing. Oh, by the way, fun thing. I got this gorilla because I saw a preacher with this gorilla. It's one of the first mounts he got. And it looks so cool because it was kind of sitting in the gorilla's hand. So I got it thinking I would sit in the gorilla's hand. No. There is no sitting in the hand of the gorilla. It's just, it carries me like a doll. There we go. I like the mounts that have like unique sitting position. They're always fun. Okay. You little evil thing. Get in the bag. Please. Okay. More prepared for it the speed this time, you succeed in closing the sack over your elusive quarry. Evil little thing. But we got it. It's amazing they have like this whole underground facility that looks... It looks like it's above ground. And just with like a dome over it. It looks like a gigantic greenhouse, but it's actually in a cavern. This must also be a really nice place to live, because if it's in a cavern in some way, like once linked to the volcanic system, like there's gonna be heat down here. Oh, thank you for the follow, Bruni. Welcome. How did you fare? I tracked down 3 of the pack, which leaves 1 unaccounted for. I got it. These things are evil. Never lose them again. Ah, there's the odd marmot out. Wait, here a moment while I put our friends in a holding cage. Please do. Also, why do they not look anything like marmots? Thankfully, the marmot seems to be unharmed. They've held up well in isolation, but it must be too soon to release them. Yeah, of course I'm a Lala. I quite enjoy the cute races. It's a good thing we were able to recapture them so swiftly. You have my thanks. What will you do with the marmots now? He probably can't say like who told him to do it. That's for the Forum to decide. They are guiding authority behind Labyrinth, after all, and this job was but one small part of the great inventory of theirs. Suitable for consumption and easy to breed. These were the 2 conditions I was given for the stock. Suitable for consumption and easy to breed. So we are thinking about food supplies here. I don't know what the forum has planned for these creatures, but at the very least, I doubt they'll be served for dinner today or tomorrow. They are definitely preparing for end times or something. There you are, Melicity. Is this the gleaner you mentioned? The one who was looking for lost marmots? Yep. Interesting company you keep, my friend. Where are you folks anyway? I'm Kyle of the Students of Baldestian. The others are my associates. Truth be told, the forum decision of late has not sat entirely well with us. That is why we made this descent into Labyrinthos. We hope that by seeing these decisions put into action, we might more fully understand the reasoning. Wise and practical. Never hurts to try and gain a broader perspective, does it? Anyway, duty called, other animals to capture and enclosure to empty. Once again, I'm sorry that I can't offer you more for your services. No, you actually gave us plenty. They are definitely thinking about food supplies. Did you learn anything from your friend there? Yeah, it's all food related. They are seeing food changes in future. So we confirmed the order for this ambitious operation did indeed come directly from the forum. However, the gleaners have not been informed of its purpose. I would say that fits with everything we heard thus far. We also discovered when the operation was begun. The forum contacted the Gleaners Guild ship and put the people to the great work some 4 days after the Telforoi made their chilling declaration. Ah, so they are definitely preparing for things to go pretty bad. As a seasoned traveler, the Gleaners keep abreast of news from every corner of the world out of necessity. Thus I am inclined to trust that their calendar of events is accurate. Although it gives the distinct impression that this undertaking was sudden and unexpected development. Yet I find it hard to believe that such comprehensive restructuring of Labyrinthos and his archive could have been planned in so brief a window. Nay, this plan was long in the making. They were but awaiting the right time to put it into effect. Yeah, I mean, if this is sort of a plan of like isolating the city fully, then that's probably something they made a long, long time ago. And the Telforoi declaration was what set it all in motion? It seems likely, but let us not leap to conclusion just yet. For the moment, I suggest we conduct a wider investigation of Labyrinthos. The more facilities we visit, the more pieces of the puzzle we stand to find. In that case, how about we head to the Archeon? From there, we can reach the lower... Kryl? Why am I not getting that? Kryl, what's wrong? It's fine, truly. The sudden descent has left me a bit of a headache. That's all. Nothing that will stop me from soldering on. Let's be about it then. At least allow me to take the lead. I'm fairly certain I remember the way to the Archeon. We follow the path east through the forest where you were chasing after that mouse, or marmot was it? Anyway, it's the trolls you need to watch out for. I already killed one. So if this is echo-related, why is it happening to me? Does that imply it's not echo-related? Okay, guys, remind me. There is a thing to attune to. Where we're going. If I don't attune, please remind me to attune. I always forget. It's always such a pain to go back. I like this bird. So Ape and his hubby went with me to like gather up fancy birds. It was quite nice. Oh, obviously I can't fly. But I do like that it has a walking animation. I don't really like a lot of flying mounts that don't have nice ground animation, especially if they have legs. I'm worried about her. Don't worry about me. I'm hale and healthy. In fact, I'm beginning to suspect that... Nah, let's discuss this later. The investigation demands our undivided attention. No, not later. Now. You are having, like, migraines or something? This is the foremost material archive in Stjarleien. I should love to explore its treasure shelf by shelf, but I fear we have little time for such indulgences. I would never come out of this place. Were you caught in mist on your way here? The sprayers kept the air humid so the habitat feels as close as possible to a natural forest. Huh. Behold the Archeon. As Numenon serve as their Stjarleien literary archive, so does the structure house the city wealth and material data. The architecture too is similar. This building, you see, is merely the upper entrance, an access point to the vault carved into the cliff's side itself. Within those vast rooms are stored countless samples of specimens, as well as the detailed records which describe them. Important question. Can I pet the specimens? That's what I need to know. Like, are they fluffy and can I pet them? In the manner of speaking, the Archeon contains a physical history of Stjarleien's unwavering dedication to accumulating of knowledge. Alphino is gazing into the Archeon with an appraising look. Well, we won't learn anything of value standing out here. Let us proceed into the main building and speak with the custodian. Sure. Okay, Aetheryte, Aetheryte, Aetheryte. Remember the Aetheryte. There we go. Okay. Up to Aetheryte. Attune. It has water in it! Splash. Splash. Best emote in the game. I love it when they have like water things. Hello, frog. It was like one of Master Matoya's frogs. That's kind of neat. Oh, that's a ladder. Oh, I'm guessing specimens are like in these boxes. Hello, Mr. Custodian. Greetings, we're here to pursue the Archeon's vault. Ruse? You're clearly not gleaners, then. Might I ask your affiliation? We belong to the students of Baldesion, but is that irrelevant? I was given to believe that the vaults, those open to the public at least, were open to the public. Ordinarily, yes, that would be the case. At present, however, access is restricted. Only personnel directly involved in the reorganization effort are permitted to enter. Not us, then, I suppose. We had better move along to another facility. This building has a lift which connects to the middle tier, yes? Might we at least make use of that? That service has also been suspended, I'm afraid. For the time being, priority has been given over to the conveyance of inventory. What? So, this is as far as we can go? I apologize for the inconvenience. Please come again after our restructuring operation is concluded. By that time, it will be too late. And we were so close to getting answers. We need to rethink our approach. Let us step outside for a moment, shall we? I have an idea. I am tiny, and so is Kyle. Students of Baldesion, Maybe just throw us over the fence or something. please. Hey, Cutler. Yeti woke. The Forum must be wary of exposure indeed, to so heavily restrict the use of public institutions. If they're going to close off facilities, then they ought to announce it. The student must be furious. Labyrinthos is constructed in the shape of a mortar. This upper layer is called the outer circle, and then the medial circuit lies 1 tier below us. Yeah, so just put me in a box, send me down. I can hide with something that's not hostile. Just hand me, like... We could probably even, like, fit me and Alfie and Kyle in a box together. Alice, I too. We are at an impasse. As we have no other leads, I should like to pursue this one further. But I doubt that our stone-faced custodian will be swayed by heartfelt pleas. We must seek out another means of access to the lower levels. Back me up with the marmots? I think the marmots were going outside, though. We need something coming in. It's likely that the people in this area are involved in the restructuring in one way or another. If we were to integrate ourselves, they might allow us to accompany them on the lift. Let us ask around. Surely someone is in need of a few strong backs to lighten the load? Sure. Let's go find a tired gleaner. Should be plenty of those around. Oh, you all going in different directions? Okay, tired gleaner. Someone with a lot of boxes and they need... new students. Hello. Am I taking the lift? Oh no, we're just students. They won't let us into the Archeon, even though we found... Actually, we have no idea what we found. There's no records of such a creature anywhere. But it was wandering around Tranquility, and so we thought to donate it to the vault. Oh, squee. Oddest little squeal, don't you think? Anyway, I suppose we'll have to take care of it until the Archeon is open again. I can take care of it. See? I can fit into this box perfectly. With your thing, if need be. Like, no, that's no problem. Just have to knock it out, potentially. Anybody else around here? Okay, maybe this... Oh, there. Bone very worker. Ah, perfect. What's that? Take it down on the lift with me. Sorry, but no chance. I've been up and down all day, and only now I finally found a spare moment to rest. I did see a gleaner fellow heading out to the gate here, though, shouldering a large pack. Engaged in some manner of task. Maybe he'll be headed down below after he's done with it. Whatever it is he's doing. Okay. So there's somebody out here who is in desperate need of extra hands to carry his load. And might then let us onto elevators. Oh yeah, it does glow during the day. Oh, that's pretty. Does it like first? I wonder if it's always fair skies or if they also simulate weather down here. Let's see. There he is. Erinville! Hello, friend. Quiet. You'll frighten it away. Ah, it's you again. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm in the middle of another task. The Cloudkin I need to capture is close. Very close. What's a Cloudkin? Huh? You wish to help me with this too? You spent your time in unusual ways, my friend. Still, 2 hunters are generally better than 1. Very well. The canal here is a common gathering spot for birds of all kinds, but the one I'm after today is the hornbill. Oh, it's the angry bird. Its feathers are green, and its cry is a distinctive caw. Single it out and shoot it with a sleeping dart. Sure. I think it's the one that like glares evilly at everybody. It was one... I think there's like Yeah, this one on the tower. The jumping tower scared the hell out of me. On the Summerfest jumping tower. The effect is short-lived, so I lie in wait down by the riverbank and claim our quarry. Be sure to hit the right one. Okay, he did say it was green. Was that a shoebill instead of a hornbill? That's a wak-wak. That's a caw-caw. What do you do? Cuckoo? You. You're definitely not the bird I was thinking about. But it's green, so it has to be that one. Yeah, okay, so it is a shoebill I'm thinking about. I believe those are like real birds, actually. Which is really freaky. Please take it out of the water before it drowns. Yay! I did good!
A fair shot.
Oh, voice acting!
Nicely done. Let me truss this one up and I'll make my way over to you.
Oh, and it's Icelandic. I always forget that we are Icelandic. I don't know why I hate my own nation's accent, but it's like, it's just, it sounds off to me.
There you are. Any new revelations?
I found my friend again.
So you met with that gleaner again, this time to capture a hornbill.
Yeah, I'm becoming a very mighty good hunter.
I understand catching and bringing in creatures from the outside, but what's the point of chasing after ones already here?
Oh, it's a simple thing, really. Occasionally, we remove specimens no longer needed for study, or those we've had difficulty raising. But we can't simply turn them loose. Safely returning such creatures to their native habitats is another facet of a cleaner's duties. But not in this case, I'm afraid. I've been asked to bring the bird below.
He's not that bad. He doesn't have the really annoying accent.
The restricted section in the lower level.
But he sounds really familiar.
Open only to a select few researchers handpicked by the forum.
I need to figure out who his voice actor is.
The projects down there are the subject of rumor and hearsay. Forbidden magics. Advanced technologies that can never be allowed to fall into outside hands. Even Archons are not privy to the truth.
Oh?
Those who are, the researchers involved in this secretive work, are not permitted to walk freely in the city, and are instead required to live in isolated quarters.
What could a facility subject to such strict security protocols possibly need with a hornbill? An experiment?
Ari Óskarsson is the voice actor.
Possibly. I wasn't afforded an explanation. But judging by the requisition list given to me and my colleagues, I doubt it's for any kind of advanced research. I'd be more inclined to believe we were making preparations to migrate to the south. Mericidia or thereabouts.
Oh, yeah. He was also in Assassin's Creed.
What? Why would you say that?
Much of the flora and fauna we were asked to procure.
He actually looks exactly like he sounds. That's amazing.
They're comparatively hardy species too, able to endure harsh climates. And among them are specimens known to be effective in improving soil quality and purifying water.
When you put it that way, migration does sound like a reasonable assumption.
That's all it is, though. An assumption. Through our tasks, we gleaners glimpse only bits and pieces of the forum's plans. Our prime concern is that our requisitions, be they living or otherwise, are properly preserved for the knowledge of future generations. Now, I really must be going. I regret that I cannot reward you as you deserve.
He's not so bad. He's better than the voice actors from Shadowbringers.
Perhaps you might reward us after a fashion then. It is imperative that we reach the lower levels.
Not all of them. Like, there was one or two that I thought was okay.
And seeing as you are already set to descend with your assigned cargo, mayhap we could accompany you as your assistants.
Please?
I'm afraid that won't be possible. Once the animals have been prepared for transport, we send them down separately via the lift.
Can you shove me into a box?
I will, of course, follow after to make my report, but I can hardly pass you off as porters when there's nothing left to carry.
Indeed. Pray forget I said anything.
How do you feel about climbing? If you've strength and the courage to brave it, then there is another way down. This path leads to the 33rd facet, a mine shaft excavated during one of our expansions of Labyrinthos. While I cannot guarantee that the passage is safe to traverse, it should provide access to the medial circuit below.
I never even knew such a place existed. Thank you. This is the perfect solution.
You're quite welcome, but consider yourselves warned. If the going proves too treacherous, you do well to turn back. I bid you good day.
Well, turning back is hardly an option, not when we've come this far. Let's go and take a look at this mine shaft.
I still do appreciate that they got very different groups of voice actors to do the different races. It gives it a lot of diversity. So even though I always cringe when I hear Icelandic voice actors, that's just my own thing. But I do like that they have it. I believe the Hrothgar are Norwegian, and I like that we have definitely have sounds maybe Indian with Thavnir. Like, it's nice. But I don't hear accents very well, apparently. Because most of the time, most people speaking English just sound the same to me. Except if they have like a ridiculously strong accent. Hey, buzz off. Shoo. Go away. Thank you. And one thing is, I can't hear my own accent. Even when I'm editing and such, I don't really hear an accent. But I know I have an accent. It's kind of weird. I never would have noticed this cave on my own, thanks to the scholar that Erenville knows of it, and that you were... Thank the scholar that Erenville knows of it, that you were there to persuade him to share. It always impressed me a lot. There are people out there who can like pinpoint where somebody is from just based on their accent. That is really cool. I took a quick peek inside, but it's awfully dark in there. The medial circuit with Erenville mentioned is the tier directly below us, unlike the lowest. Let me see. Hold on. Unlike the lower level of the Labyrinthos, with the Ricket's security, one can usually roam the middle layer quite freely. Let us see what we might find. Well, wouldn't we stand out because it's still closed to the public right now? This must be it, the entrance to the mine shaft. It's faint, but I hear something moving within. Creatures homed there by the researchers, you think? Well, slavering beasts aside, we'll need to watch our footing. We should tighten our straps and such before we continue. LSA seems eager to get underway. What level is my hat, by the way? 530. Assuming everyone tightens their straps and checks their gear, then I say we head on in. Given the terrain ahead, though, it might be wise to leave some distance between us. We don't want this to be stumbling over each other if it comes to a fight. Take it slow and don't forget to check your surrounding from time to time. We can meet up again at the other end of the tunnel. As a Canadian, I'm just used to hearing people do really bad impressions of what you think a Canadian sounds like. Oh yeah, I know the joke about the Canadian accents is they go like a boot and a at the end of things. Like they talk about a boot things. That's like the extent of what I can mimic of that. I think the A at the end of things also was the Canadian stereotype. Or was that Australian? Don't know. To be fair, we do say A a lot. Don't worry. Icelandic people tend to say jæja a lot. It's sort of our version of like, oh well, or something like that. But jæja can be used for so many things. But it's my favorite version of jæja is so basically you can use jæja for things like you can go jæja to say like it's time to go, we should get going. And then we also have jæja, which is like, oh, you don't say. Somebody said like if you know how to say yes and no and jæja in Icelandic, then you can, and then you just listen to how the person sounds as they speak. Oh no, Katla, come back. Come back. Oh, didn't mean to. Then you can just pretend to know Icelandic, as long as you can just kind of pick the cues of which form of yes, no, and jæja you should respond with. And it's very accurate because I've seen like family members on the phone and they use these 3 words while the other person is answering and talking. Oh, and þú segir ekki, like you don't say. That's also a popular one. I love this flower, it's so pretty. It does so little damage though. Faster single targeting you down. Let me see. This was actually not so bad at all. Though I did expect to find the others, like, standing in the cave on the way down. As, like, dialogue points and areas. So that's kind of surprised me. That they all just show up on the other side. That mineshaft was infested with mithril caps. Some sort of research project, I wonder. I suppose they're most unusual creatures. Why did they develop such long limbs when all they do is shuffle about narrow tunnels? I don't know. Evolution is weird. I was being careful, I swear. The slope was steeper than I thought, and I lost my footing for a moment. That's all. I'm not injured if you don't count my pride. Did you have another one of those episodes? Melicity, did you know Kyle almost took a tumble back there? He can't possibly still be dizzy from the lift. I know. She's bullshitting. Everyone seems to have made it through without incident. Nothing of consequence, at least. And as promised, the tunnel has delivered us into the medial circuit. As I recall, this tier is where they keep a wide variety of samples for agricultural production. If Erenwill's assumption holds true, the specimens are being collected in preparation for a greater migration. Then we should see evidence of such plans in the area's research projects. Let's follow the path to the nearest farming facility and see what we see. I'm not so sure they're just gonna accept us being here, though. Like, that feels odd. Because we are quite obviously not porters, and we're quite obviously not somebody working on the whole porting business. So we shouldn't be here. So it just feels like we're gonna be caught immediately. Guess this is where we want to be. Hey, look! It's the grapes everybody got so excited about. Aha! Oh, now I know something. Labyrinthos is host to a wide variety of vegetation, which allows us to conduct studies on cultivation methods utilized in foreign lands. And in this facility, which coordinates and oversees these efforts, the fruit of this research go to feed the Labyrinthos colleagues, or so I hear. More notable success might make it to the Agora. Food so exotic, you'd be hard-pressed to guess their origin, let alone how they might taste. Indeed, mystery vegetables without a name, only a list of nutrient benefits scribbled on a card. I see no gleaners hereabout, yet these workers seem to share the same sense of urgency. It's possible they know something of the forum's plan and their underlying motivation. Worth looking into, wouldn't you say? Do we wanna expose that we are down here? See what you can coax from the workers. The rest of us will do the same or cast about for useful clues. I mean, we're not supposed to be here. Like that this person is clearly going through the same story as we. She has a very neat top piece. That does not look as nice on me, but it looks nice on her. Oh, Alfie's over there. This place looks so nice. And so you spent years researching these high-yield cultivation techniques? It's all about high-yield food. Edible creatures that grow quickly. High-yield growing techniques? Do I have ought to take down? Do I have ought to be taken down below? More than I can carry and then some. Most of our stock is sent via the cargo lift, but some has been earmarked for aerial transport. And the stack of crates atop that hill over there. Gods, hauling the lot up the slope was a job and a half. Oh, maybe we can use that? Another one. There's like a mammoth here. I thought these mammoths would just be in the library. It doesn't quite look right in an orchard. What crops are we raising? Well, as you can see, this one is a variety of grapes. Only needs a good source of sunlight to grow, and the conditions here are nothing short of perfect. Hardly surprising, given that it's native to particular local, in the very place upon which Labyrinthos was modelled, a region in the south of Ilspart. Oh. It boasts remarkable habitat diversity, allowing the myriad flora and fauna to thrive. Chilly peaks in northern give way to swaths of temperate plains, which in turn transition into hot, humid coastline. Such bountiful territory is ever contested, as you might expect. It used to be called Corvus, before the Imperial renamed it Locus Ammonius. Oh! The Forum saw it not as a prize, however, but as a research ideal environment. One whose climate we strove to recreate within the confines of Labyrinthos. It since provided a rich foundation for countless experiments in cultivation. Fancy? Doesn't give me much information about what I was looking for, though. I need somebody else. There. Hello. Oh, hello there. We weren't expecting visitors, not with use of the lift being restricted. How did you make it down here anyway? I have no idea what I'm... Oh, I just told him. I'm so fucking honest. The mine shaft, you say? Well, you're a much hardier soul than I. Under normal circumstances, I would reward such tenacity with guided tour of the field, but I'm afraid the forum has us filling orders list a malm long. Massive yet detailed request. Literal wagon loads of crop samples and hardly any time to put them together. When I first heard of this grand reorganization, I assumed we would be shuffling around old stock to make room for new. Then comes the order for ridiculous quantities of seeds we've already thoroughly researched. Passing strange, eh? I pressed for an explanation and was met with vague assurances that all would be revealed in due course. Not the most satisfying answer. No, that sounds like a really annoying answer. Especially if you're having to work like extra hard on something and it doesn't make sense to you. That is so annoying. The stack of crates on the hill is going below. That sounds promising. I'll gather the others and join you there. Sure. But why did they put it up on the hill? Why can't the aerial support just fetch it down to the thing? Like, these poor guys. It's not a very big stack, but still. Looks heavy. The label on these crates tell the story of their content. Bundles of common seeds and saplings, accompanied by sheaves of reports. I don't know, this seems... For some reason, they seem very concerned about food supply. These are pretty. Like crystal flowers.
Hard to look away, isn't it?
Yeah.
But they're more than pretty flowers. Heart blooms are attuned to ambient emotion.
I like his voice.
You don't seem convinced, but believe me, it's true.
So they're like mood rings?
This ashen grey, for instance, it mirrors the anxiety and urgency of those working nearby as they rush to fulfill sudden orders.
Oh.
Intense feelings like those spur the petals to change colour. Bright glowing hues in the presence of joy, dark subdued shades for frustration or despair. Yet even with the collected wisdom of Charlian at our disposal, we've yet to identify the underlying principle of this empathic effect. And there are other mysteries besides. Although the flower is extraordinarily long-lived, its low reproductive rate has made it difficult to find younger populations growing in the wild. With too few sightings to map its distribution, and no closely related species to track, we've been unable to pinpoint its land of origin. To further complicate matters, every culture, even dimly aware of its existence, has given it a different name and mythos. Our attempts to study it via the historical record have been an exercise in frustration. As an avid botanist myself, I should one day like to unravel the Heartbloom's secrets. But I'm afraid other duties must take precedence. I will leave you to your thoughts.
Okay, these flowers are gonna matter. They would not go into all this detail about this particular flower if it's not gonna matter a lot. We're gonna have to keep an eye out for them.
Have you learned aught of interest?
I've learned there are pretty flowers. Like, they're really nice.
A flower that reacts to one's feelings. Strange. I must say, I have never heard of such a thing.
This is all very fascinating. But as it stands, we fail to gain any significant insight into the forum's undertaking.
Kyle is very focused on the
Indeed.
flowers.
While there is certainly enough activity to support Erenville's supposition that a priority has been placed on improving food production, unfortunately for our investigation, these workers were never informed as to how their duties serve the master plan.
If only we could interrogate the forum members directly. Isn't that the entrance to the Archaean? Look, there. I think that's Erenville.
A little difficult to tell from here, but I think you're right. He did say he was coming down to make his report.
Erenville receives his orders from the Forum. Would it not follow, then, that the superior to whom he reports is a Forum member, or at least a close associate?
So there's one in there?
Do you mean to eavesdrop on their conversation? What of the risks?
Ours alone to bear. We won't interfere with Erenville's work, nor will he be implicated as an accomplice. If you're not comfortable taking part, I can do this alone.
Nay. I said myself that I wished to know Father's intentions, and no answers will be forthcoming should we simply ask nicely.
We can apologize later, should it come to it. Right now, we need every crumb of information we can get our hands on. Consequences be damned.
It might be best if you came along as well. In fact, we should all...
Where is Kyle? Oh, is he still looking at the flowers? Hi.
Cryle?
Maybe we should not all go, because Kyle does not seem to be okay.
Oh, yes. That certainly sounds like a plan.
You have no idea what the plan is.
I'm glad you agree.
How about somebody takes Kyle upstairs again?
Quickly! Erenville is on the move. We need to get closer before we lose him.
Almost. I can almost reach you.
Something is off. Something is really off and I don't like it. It feels wrong to spy on Erenville, helpful as he has been, but what other choice do we have? Let's get after him already. We've waited long enough as it is. Hey Kyle, you okay? Forgive me, my attention has been elsewhere. We were following Erenville, weren't we? Is Kyle still feeling unwell? We've never seen her so distracted. Keep an eye on her, but keep moving too. We cannot let our quarry slip away. Okay. The full report, warts and all. Elsa is not about to let Erenville out of her sight. Erenville was headed westward along the path outside the Archaean. Come, we can still catch him. Wasn't there a thing? No, it's like way down there somewhere. Okay. So he went this way. By the way, for those who have not seen this Lala on this mount, this is amazing. It looks like I could literally fall between the things. It seems she stole away just to have a word with us. We've fallen too far behind, and the stand miss won't help matters. I can't still hear it. She is not okay. I'm concerned about Kryl right now. Hold a moment. I have an idea. If memory serves, that colossal wall-like structure is Logisticon Beta, one of Labyrintho's climate control centers. It should have its own lift, with which one could access the upper and lower tier. If I were an agent of the Forum, would make for a convenient meeting place. But even if we happen to find Erenville in the company of said agent, we cannot expect them to reveal issues of importance as we so nonchalantly stroll past. Nay, we shall have to remain undetected. If only Graha and his vanish spell were here. Oh, but there are other ways of turning invisible. Do you have a vanish spell? Oh, hippity hop, my little toad. You are turning me into a toad. Goodness! Unaccustomed to transfiguration, worry not. It will wear off with passage of time. You could have warned us. I suggest you and your green companions hop along and catch up with Erenville. Should you feel the magic fade in, return to me and I will refresh the enchantment. What do I do in the meantime? Wait here with me. In your current state of mind, you'd be as likely to leap into the jaws of a predator as you would learn anything of note. Which reminds me, were the creatures hereabout in that form, you are essentially defenseless. You have changed into a toad. You must remain transfigured in order to progress with the quest objective. You will return to your transfigured status if you move too far away. Look at your map for transfiguration area effect. Okay. Make sure you pay attention to the toad names. Oh, this does not look right. I'm sorry, Mittens. I'll summon you when I'm back to myself. Will we have Alice and Alfino? Ribbit, ribbit. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Alfie Toad and Ali Toad. Oh no! I'm now accompanying you. Keep them at your side in order to progress with your quest objective. Ali Toad and Alfie Toad. Oh. Okay, where are we going? This way. Oh, we have like a dialogue thing over there. Katla just following, watching us, going like, yeah. Oh no, there's a gate here. This is bad timing for a gate. Just move around it. Then we're gonna watch out for the bigger toads. Don't wanna be eaten. Okay. Oh no, I need to go there. Come on, guys. There's a dialogue spot, and we're gonna do the dialogue. Huh. It seems Emmett Selch is back. He has decided to be a bunny. Pretty good. Okay, there. Oh, the sounds. I love that the twins, they jump in unison. Okay. Talk. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Alvidode attempts to fail and fails to shake his head, but you nevertheless understand that he's telling you this is the wrong way. Hello, Serentil. Yeah, everybody went Bunny Boys for Endwalker. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Ribbit, 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 ribbit. Alito turns face to the north. Perhaps he is suggesting you cross the bridge. Yeah, we go up there. Oh, we gotta watch out for the Yakao? Oh, there's so many enemies, and I'm just a tiny frog. Well, Toad. Though, aren't we frogs? This is a frog, right? But it feels really fitting that he turns us into toads because he is Master Montoya's student. And those two just have some weird things going on with the toads. Okay, over there. Oh, now we're all jumping in unison. Not weird at all. I hope toads is not one of the things he was meant to. Guys. We kinda look suspect if we all stick to the...
I trust you will find your compensation to be more than satisfactory. We wish to make clear that we are pleased with the efficiency and thoroughness of your work. So much so that we have come bearing new tasks in need of your competent hand.
Another lengthy list. If I may speak frankly, the Gleaners have been pushed to the point of collapse by your unending demands. We are not familiars to be exploited. We are Charlean scholars, and we deserve an explanation for this unseemly treatment. What warrants such urgency?
In an age long past, Charlean was charged with a momentous duty.
Oh.
And now that word of the final days hangs heavy in the air, the time has come for us to fulfill that charge. I can say no more, but I promise you this. All will be revealed in due course. And when it has, you will understand that your toil was in service to the greatest good.
Then I will do your bidding. For now. But unless you wish the Gleaners to rise up in protest, I advise you to offer tangible improvements for our working conditions. Your promised revelation does nothing to address present circumstances.
A fair point. Your concerns will be conveyed to the Forum.
So. Dude is aware that this is weird. He knows. He knows.
That was informative. You may consider my debt to you repaid in full.
He knows.
While I do have my reservations about the Forum, I want to believe that they have our best interests at heart. which is why I'm reassured that you're busy sniffing out the truth of things. We can ill afford to place all our eggs in one basket, this master plan of theirs, without first understanding the risks involved.
Mm-hmm.
Wait! How did you know it was us?
He is an expert on creatures.
If you mean to impersonate a toad, try studying the real thing. And don't try to fool an expert.
Like, we stuck out like a sore thumb. No toads just sit like that. Oh, she's doing the head hug. So cute. Don't know if it's like shows properly on the screen. Kinda, it does. It's just, it's the cutest. She likes holding her own head when she sleeps. It's so cute. It usually means she's sleeping well. And she's like fully relaxed. She will hug herself. Our toad performance needs to work, apparently. I'll have to pay more attention next time I see one. I suppose we should have known a gleaner who specializes in animal procurement would not be so easily deceived. Yet he seemed inclined to put his trust in us all the same. More importantly, perhaps we discovered a new piece of the puzzle. This momentous duty the forum agent mentioned. Charlene has been called to action, and the Telforoy's declaration was the catalyst. Whatever charge it is they hope to fulfill, I deem it of sufficient importance to disrupt all labyrinthos, not to mention ignore Yorcia's request for aid. Exactly. What is this quest? Guide of Sword. So, we're about half an hour past my stream time now. I think this is actually a good place to stop. This is not the place Abe recommended. I don't know how far it is until the place where Abe recommended. The quest he recommended was either the Color of Joy or In the Dark of the something. It's a spoiler apparently. But I think this is a good place to end because we kind of end on a nice revelation that the forum is up to something. So, my thoughts. I think Charlene is connected to the Asians in some way. They know much more. It seems they know much more than we would think. At least the forum knows a lot more. Because when you think about it, some of the greatest places are founded by Emmet, whose goal in life was rebuilding and being remembered and finding which, if humanity could ever take on the burden of protecting the star, though humanity was never good enough. Still, we have seen before nations who knew about the last days. When we look at the Ronkas, they had pictures, like drawings on the walls of the end of time and the Zodiac and Hydaelyn. So I would not be surprised if, for some reason, the Charleans have something similar. They know much more than we think. So they know something is about to happen. Probably something bad, and they are preparing for it. And based on how they, what they're planning, they're looking for, they're really focusing on food production, which makes me think they expect to have to be fully self-sufficient and with limited ability to create more food. So either they're going somewhere, or they expect the planet to become pretty bad soonish. Because why else would they be thinking about which crops grow the fastest and which animal grow the fastest to be eaten? It makes me think they are expecting food supply to become really difficult And I would not be surprised if they're thinking, like this place we're in now, the Labyrinthos, that might be gone. Because that is an excellent area to grow crops. But it's more, though, an experimental area. So it just gives me the feeling that they expect areas to grow crops and situation to grow crop to get really worse really quickly. So something is definitely off. They know bad things are happening. And I think they are now in full self-preservation mode, trying to protect themselves and the knowledge they have gathered. So definitely there's some Asian influence involved. I am excited to see what happens next week. So the upcoming week schedule is on Friday. We're gonna try Outlast. So the original Outlast game. I've never tried it. I've never seen anybody play it. Like, I know of it. I think I may have seen like a clip or two from it. But otherwise, I haven't watched it. It came out during the time where I didn't play a lot of horror games. I took a break from horror games for a few years. So I'm going to go completely fresh into that. And then on Sunday, we're going to continue on with Endwalker. So what do you want to do? If you want to help me pick future games that we're going to play or vote on stuff, like if we're going to do the Dwarf quest line and such, you want to join the Discord. I'm going to plug in the Discord because I don't have Ape here to do it for me. So Discord. So in the chat right now, there's going to be a link to the Discord. So if you want to take part in polls that control a lot of the stream stuff, this also includes things like I'm trying to decide on what would be good emotes for the stream. I want to change out all the emotes into something you guys want. So there is a channel on the Discord for that. If you play Final Fantasy, I also have an FC on Phantom if you want to join that. Otherwise, you can also just join the Discord and post some G-poses. We do have a channel for spoiler chat, which I'm not in, so if you want to talk about the stream or things that have been happening in the story, then you have a place there. So generally, I just try to make it a nice community. So I highly recommend go there. But yeah, I hope you had fun. I had a lot of fun. I'm very excited. I will see you guys on Friday and we're gonna have a nice time. Katla here is just she's absolutely conked out. Poor thing. She's so tired after last night. Like, I'm patting her and she doesn't even open her eyes. Aww. I'm gonna let her sleep. So, thank you so much for being here. I hope I see you next time and I hope you have a lovely day. Bye bye.